This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Atlantic Coast Conference reaching the Pacific Coast. The ACC inviting Stanford, Cal, and SMU to the league. The additions will be in all sports beginning in the 2024-2025 school year and will bring the conference to 18 members, 17 of which will play football full-time in the league. Following the mass exodus of the Pac-12, Stanford and Cal had no choice, notes ESPN's Damian Woody.
This was kind of the logical move for Stanford and Cal after they were kind of left behind by some of the other schools in the Pac-12. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's all about realignment and money. That's what college football is all about.
Damian Woody on Canty and Carlin. Sources tell ESPN's Chris Lowe, Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe starts tomorrow's season opener against Middle Tennessee. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce made a plea to teammate Chris Jones to return to the Chiefs. On his latest podcast with his brother Jason, Travis asked for Jones to come back, added the Chiefs need him. He also called Jones the best defensive player in the NFL right now. Jones recently said he will continue his contract holdout until Week 8.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. ESPN Radio has an all-new morning show. It's me, Chris Canty, and Evan Cohen. We get things started Tuesday, September 5th. Tune in 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, weekdays on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. Theriot next hour. We do have a confirmed celebrity guest picker to start hour 3. We are going to binge on college football on LSU, Florida State. We'll get you picks before we get out of here as well. Buckle up. Enjoy your ride home. It's your final Friday ride home before we got actual college football. So we are looking forward to this day. Let us begin as we do every day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We have dissected this LSU-Florida State game from darn near every angle. We have talked about the absence of Mason Smith. We have talked about the 2 veteran quarterbacks. We have talked about LSU's improvement in special teams and their giant question mark in the secondary. We have talked about LSU's offensive tackles against the really good edge rushers from Florida State. We have talked about the head coaches, the marching bands, the school colors, and everything else. I don't know what other angles we can really dive into to dissect this game that haven't already been discussed. There's one kind of cool thing about the game, though, that we really haven't talked about at all. And that's the familiarity between these two teams. And I'm not just talking about the fact that LSU and Florida State played a year ago in New Orleans. They did, and so there is that familiarity because most of the players on both of these teams were in that game a year ago. I'm talking about away from the field how much these two teams, rosters, coaching staffs are familiar with each other. There are 7 players from Louisiana on the Florida State roster. Ja'Kai Douglas, number 0, is a wide receiver from Homa. Keon Coleman, number 4, wide receiver from Opelousas. Another guy who didn't have an LSU offer, went to Michigan State, transferred from Michigan State, didn't have an LSU transfer offer, goes down to Florida State. Number 7, Destin Hill, went to Edna Carr in New Orleans. He's a wide receiver. Number 21, Greedy Vance, also went to Edna Carr in New Orleans. Hill and Vance, by the way, were teammates at Carr with Aaron Anderson. So you could very well on Sunday see Greedy Vance guarding his former high school teammate Aaron Anderson in that game Sunday night down in Orlando. By the way, both are transfers. Vance went to Louisville, then Florida State. Anderson, as you know, went to Alabama and now is at LSU. C.J. Campbell, a running back, is from Kaplan, Louisiana. Byron Turner, the defensive tackle's from St. Aug. Bless Harris, an offensive lineman, is from St. Aug. You got a lot of ties in this ballgame. It's not just on the roster. The coaching staff as well. David Johnson is Florida State's running backs coach. He was the head coach at St. Aug when Fournette and Tyrann Mathieu were there. Patrick Surtain Sr., we all know Jr., who, of course, had ties to New Orleans. Well, the reason he had ties to Louisiana is his dad is from New Orleans and played high school ball at Edna Carr. And, of course, LSU tried to recruit Patrick Surtain Jr., and he was at his dream school, as he self-described it, for a long time, until ultimately things fell apart late in that recruitment, largely because of some questions around Corey Raymond. But clearly, Surtain has ties to LSU and to the state of Louisiana as well. Beyond that also, Florida State has two transfers that LSU recruited heavily and wanted badly at what were clearly positions of need. The two spots that LSU went ham in the transfer portal were cornerback and defensive tackle. And two guys LSU wanted were Fentrell Cypress and Braden Fisk. Fentrell Cypress was the number 2 overall transfer in the entire portal behind Justin Hunter this past cycle. And the cornerback from UVA that picked Florida State, that LSU wanted. Braden Fisk is the defensive tackle from Western Michigan, who's a fifth-year senior and is a bull in a china shop on the interior. He can play zero technique nose. He can play a 3 technique defensive tackle. He can even get out and play on the end as well as a defensive end. So there is so much familiarity when these two teams get on the field Sunday in Orlando, not just because they played a year ago. I mean, Will Campbell, in his first ever collegiate action, drew the assignment of blocking Jared Verse in that game in New Orleans a year ago. It didn't go well for Will Campbell, but it's understandable. He was 18 playing his first game ever against a guy that would have been a first-round draft pick this year. It's a very different Will Campbell now. Yeah, we're focused a lot on Jared Verse and Patrick Payton, who's the other defensive end. Verse last year had 17 TFLs and 9 sacks. The guy on the other side had 6 TFLs and 5 sacks. So they got two really good ends that are going to be going against LSU's elite offensive tackles in Emory Jones and Will Campbell. We've talked about that plenty. Maybe haven't talked as much about the interior, though, of that Florida State defensive line. I mentioned Fisk. Fisk is a redshirt senior. Fabian Lovett, a redshirt senior. Farmer, who's the third defensive tackle that rotates. He's a third-year player, redshirt sophomore. Everything I've heard out of Florida State is that their offensive line hasn't been able to block Braden Fisk, the transfer from Western Michigan. It's going to be a huge ask for the interior of LSU's offensive line with Charles Turner, with Miles Frazier, with Garrett Dellinger, whoever's going to draw that assignment on given plays to make sure that that interior doesn't wreck the game. But it's just very interesting when you look at the roster, the coaching staff, the familiarity with these two programs top to bottom. LSU and Brian Kelly has now opened up his season against Florida State 3 consecutive years. His final year at Notre Dame and now his first 2 seasons at LSU, all coached by Mike Norvell. So this is something that's very, very familiar. Coaches, players, roster, transfers, all of it, very interwoven. And it's like a mirror image of the two programs right now as they look at each other heading into the season opener. Both coming off of 10-win seasons. Both finished their season with a bowl win in Orlando a year ago. Now both come into this season with veteran quarterbacks, a lot of returning talent, top 10, national championship aspirations, and they're going to face off Sunday night in Orlando. It's going to be really cool to watch it all play out. It's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Of course, if you're heading down to Orlando, drink easy in Orlando. If it's going to be in Tiger Stadium, the official beer of the LSU Tigers is Bud Light. In the Superdome all season long, the official beer of the Saints is Bud Light. At Mumford Stadium, the official beer of the Southern Jags is Bud Light. So reach for a nice cold Bud Light this weekend when you're watching the Tigers whip up on the Seminoles Sunday night down in Orlando. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Phil Steele is going to be with us coming up. We got 2 segments with Phil. We will do this every Friday if you're new to the show. Phil Steele, of course, of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine. If you're a college football fan, you know who Phil Steele is. And Phil's with us every Friday to preview the biggest games of college football. We do 2 segments with Phil, so we got that coming up. We're brought to you by our friends over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding, and now indoor shutters as well. So if you've been looking at those windows and thinking about doing indoor shutters, hire the company that does windows better than anybody. I mean, if you want shutters on your windows, hire the company that does windows and does shutters better than anyone. That's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and now shutters as well. You can check them out at ReliefWindows.com. Always call them 288-8138, 288-8138. And remember that their showroom, their corporate headquarters and showroom is open 7 days a week. So, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 on Airline Highway in Prairieville. So you can always just walk in. No appointment needed. They always have an associate ready to help. It's at Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Phil Steele's coming up. Theriot will be here an hour from right now. We'll do Ryan's Letter, Kick Rocks, all that stuff. I do want to touch a little bit on the ACC expansion, which you probably have heard by now. Stanford, Cal, SMU are all joining the ACC starting next season. We will have our celebrity guest picker in hour number 3. Looking forward to that. So we got a ton to get to, and we will give you some thoughts on last night's college football as well. Yeesh, Florida. Hey, remember yesterday how I said I want Florida to be Vanderbilt? Florida looked a lot like Vanderbilt last night.
That was about as close as they could, huh?
70-yard
bomb on the first play.
They stink! Florida stinks! You're Vanderbilt. You're poop. You're poop mouth. You stink. All right. It's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Phil Steele, next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. By the way, the latest, if you check at Get Gordon on social media, at Get Gordon, they got a pretty cool video right now with Greg Brooks, LSU safety, member of the G team. Tell you all the time, if you haven't followed Gordon yet on social media, you need to, because there's a lot of really cool content. He does give a lot of legal tips, free legal advice on his social media, but also he's got great interactivity with all of the members of the G team. They posted a video today of Gordon with Angel Reese. She was getting her Bayou Barbie custom sneakers from our guy Brad Duncan and from Gordon. So check it out at Get Gordon on all the social media, at Get Gordon. The one-on-one, the Grubbin with G is there with Harold Perkins. So go to at Get Gordon on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. It's all there for you at Get Gordon. And of course, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Call 888-8888 to get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
It would not be Football Friday without Phil Steele, and we are so fired up to have Phil back with us for another year. Of course, philsteele.com. You can hit him on Twitter at philsteele042, the Phil Steele YouTube channel as well. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Phil, it's great to hear your voice again, man. How are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. I binged on football in week 0. I can't wait to do it again this weekend, man. We'll get to LSU-Florida State at the end, which is, of course, the marquee game of the weekend. And let me start with tonight. There's a couple that sort of jump off the page. One is this Louisville-Georgia Tech. And by the way, hat tip ACC. They got games for 5 consecutive days, so they are making sure they're on the marquee consistently. Louisville, Georgia Tech, Louisville, a 7.5-point road favorite, and that's a neutral game. That's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they're in Atlanta. Phil, how do you think that one goes in the ACC tonight?
I do think Louisville's a better team, but Georgia Tech has really surprised me under Coach Key. Going 4-4 down the stretch, one of those losses to Georgia, 4-3 in ACC play. And with Louisville, you look at their schedule. They've got the best schedule in the ACC, and I think that's why expectations are high for them. And it might be why the spread's 7.5. I think these two teams are fairly close talent-wise. Love Coach Key as an underdog. I think they keep it closer than expected, potentially even pull the upset. So I like Georgia Tech plus the points in that one.
Wow, okay. And how about Hawaii back on the island tonight, Phil? They, of course, the travel, you've told me this for years. Hawaii as a road dog, they fail to cover on the road. They cover at home largely because of the travel being such a factor. What an offseason for both of these. Obviously, the wildfires in Hawaii, and then Stanford not knowing where they're going to be playing ball next year until this morning. How do we make sense out of all these dynamics here on the island coming up tonight?
Yeah, and I think compared to last year, Hawaii's in a lot better shape. In fact, Coach Chang was one of the few coaches that I didn't talk to last year, and one of the reasons was he didn't really know the makeup of his team, but he feels much better about it this year. They went to the run and shoot mid-season last year, and their offense was much improved down the stretch. They went 7-1 against the spread the last 8 games, and then opened it up with a nice cover at Vanderbilt in the opener, a game where they actually outgained Vanderbilt 391 to 302. Sanford, like you mentioned, a first-year head coach, going through a lot of changes. They lost a ton of players to the transfer portal and added very few. Stanford's a tough school to get transfer portals in, so they're really going to be in a rebuilding year this year. I've got them picked at the very bottom of the Pac-12. I think there is a potential upset, but the one thing I want to put in Stanford's favor for this is that this is the one game they've been focused on, and Hawaii's game last week at Vanderbilt started late, ended late. They had to fly back home, and now all of a sudden they're playing on a Friday night on a short week at home. So I think Hawaii's got an excellent chance of pulling the upset here, but I'm a little concerned about the short week.
Let's move to Saturday, Phil. I think, can you remember a more anticipated debut than Deion Sanders at Colorado, especially for a team that's a 3-touchdown underdog? I mean, this This is I Phil, for guys like you and what you do, I don't even know how you begin to look at Colorado, considering they've completely made over their roster. So maybe before we start about the game, what was it like for you this offseason trying to figure out what to do with Colorado?
Yeah, normally in years past, Matt, we'd go into once spring practice is over, you pretty much knew everybody's roster, and naturally that's changed with the transfer portal. But I've never seen a team like Colorado, which basically even after spring practice they ended up losing 15, 20 players, and half the team wasn't even there for spring practice. They're all joining the team in August. Now I think there is talent upgrade almost across the board for Colorado. They're a much better team talent-wise than last year, but how quickly can they possibly come together, just starting to play together as a team over the summer and only having basically 30 days to get ready? I think with their schedule, Colorado will struggle this year. And with TCU, the thing that surprised me is talking to Coach Dykes, he felt pretty good about most positions, saying that they may even be better than last year at most positions. So I think this is one where a lot of the opposing head coaches may want to lay it on a little bit thick with Colorado during the course of the season, and of course Dykes has to recruit against Deion next year. So I like TCU to win this one big.
Yeah, the line is 3 touchdowns, and even without Max Duggan, without Kendre Miller. What in your preseason magazine, Phil, when you were looking at TCU, what are your projections for a team that was in the national championship game a year ago?
I was thinking there was going to be a big drop-off for TCU in the fact that last year they were lucky in a lot of games. A very fortunate season that they had, getting all the way to the championship game. A lot of fourth-quarter comebacks, lost a lot of talent. But as mentioned, when I went through the team in the third right-through process of the magazine with Coach Dykes, I felt pretty good about the talent they have on hand. And remember, their quarterback beat out Max Duggan last year. He just got injured in the opener and didn't finish out the season. So I actually have him fourth in the Big 12, but a Big 12 contender. But I have him fourth behind Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Texas, right up there.
Phil Steele is with us. Our chats with Phil all throughout the year presented by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer. You can get your quote at GageGenerators.com. That's Gage, G-A-G-E, GageGenerators.com. Let's go out west, Phil. An interesting one on the marquee, Boise State making the trip up to Seattle. That's the 2:30 Central Time kick on ABC. We all know Boise's had a great run over the last 20 years in Washington and Michael Penix. He was the leading passer among FBS quarterbacks a year ago. The Huskies are a 14-point home favorite. A lot of expectation there in Seattle, Phil. Could Boise put a scare in the Dogs?
I think they're going to make a game of it. In fact, I would lean with Boise plus the points. I do think Washington's a better team. They're at home. Husky Stadium is one of the most underrated venues out there. But Boise State's a team that plays great on the road. They've got a tremendous record as an away dog. They do have a very good team this year. When you look at Boise last year, the big difference in them was when they switched quarterback week 4. Once Talon Green took over as the QB, they were a much better offense. They've got Helani and Genty. George Helani is a guy that's been there, it seems like 10 years. I think it's 6 or 7. One of the better running backs, 1,000-yard rusher last year again. And Ashton Genty is a guy that really emerged as a true freshman last year and nearly got to 1,000 yards himself. So they've got a great running back combo, a very dangerous quarterback, a veteran offensive line, a veteran defense. They're my pick to win the Mountain West, and I think they've got a chance of staying under the number in this one, but I do like Washington to win the game. He's Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042. We will get to LSU Florida State in just a bit. Phil, another one I want to ask you before we hit a quick break is I'm curious about UTSA and Houston. That game's in Houston. It's on FS1. UTSA is a popular pick by some, maybe to be that G5 school that could make a run to the New Year's Six. Houston, their first game in the Big 12, so maybe trying to flex a little bit there. An in-state matchup. The Roadrunners at the Cougars. How do we see it, Phil? Yeah, and last year was a great game. Went 3 overtimes. Houston prevailed on the road, and now you look at Houston this year. They looked. Wasn't it a 2-point conversion? Yes. I remember. Good memory, man. Yeah. And with Houston, this looks like a rebuilding year. They do bring in Donovan Smith coming over from Texas Tech. At running back, they bring in Tony Mathis, but they lost a lot from last year's squad. It's the first year in the American Conference, and I actually have them picked at the bottom of the American. Meanwhile, or at the bottom of the Big 12, I should say. With UTSA, I've got them picked to win the American Conference, and I do have them as the number one Group of 5 team. Now, they've got a quarterback in Frank Harris, who's been there, I believe, 7 years, maybe even 8. He's been there forever. And last year he had LASIK eye surgery prior to the season. And what we saw was a much improved quarterback, 4,000 yards passing, 70% completions, and a 32-9 ratio. He's got Cephas and Clark back at running back, a veteran defense. I just love the job Jeff Traylor's doing there at UTSA. So they're playing with legitimate revenge on the road. I see UTSA coming out of there with the win. And I thought the game was going to be pick'em, but UTSA is the favorite in the game. But I still like the Roadrunners in that one.
He is Phil Steele with us every Friday here. Sit tight, Phil. We'll come back. We'll talk about some of the other big ones, including Penn State against West Virginia. The big one with LSU, Florida State, Clemson, Duke as well. Got a lot to do with Phil Steele, and glad you're hanging out with us here on a Friday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, I get it. It's 100 degrees outside, but it's also September 1st. Fall is here, y'all. It's time to get to Clegg's, get those fall bedding plants. If you're planting your fall vegetable garden, this is the time. They got Johnny Naylor seeds. If you're a green thumb, you know about Johnny Naylor seeds. They're the best. Walk into Clegg's, just go to the back wall. You'll see the wall of all the bags of seeds for whatever it is that you're trying to plant. They got you. And if you're tilling the soil, if you're getting ready for fall, they've got everything you need, because everything you'd find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So, I tell you every day, bypass the big box stores. Do business with a local company that's been around for 60 years. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, and be sure to tell them Matt sent you in when you go by this weekend and see our friends over at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, They've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We continue on a Football Friday with Phil Steele. Our chats with Phil all throughout this football season are presented by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer. Get your quote at GageGenerators.com. That's G-A-G-E, GageGenerators.com. Hey, Phil, let's jump back into it. Night window. How about this? Well, Big Ten football on NBC. So it's a West Virginia heading up to Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions are a big favorite in this game. 20.5 is what I'm looking at right now, Phil. But you get two Power 5 opponents. You get a whiteout there in Happy Valley. Do you think Penn State and James Franklin, with all the expectations, take care of business this weekend?
They should be able to. But I will say this. When I talked to Coach Neil Brown, going over the squad with him, he's very bullish on their running back core and his offensive line. So they think they can run the football. I remember Penn State's defensive tackles last year were mammoth. They were like 320 pounds. This year they're a little different, a little smaller up front. And so if West Virginia can establish a run, maybe they make a game of it. And this used to be a great rivalry game. But when you look at Penn State, they've got the talent. Singleton and Allen in the backfield, Drew Allar, all three of their units on defense rank in my top 5 of their positions. I'm talking about defensive line, linebacker, DB. So my power ratings do have Penn State winning this one by about 24, 25 points. But keep your eyes on that running game for West Virginia. Let's see if Neil Brown can get it going.
It is a big year for Neil Brown. There's going to be a guy who's, when you look at hot seat rankings, Phil, he's at or near the top of everyone's, right?
And, the thing that worries me with West Virginia is much like last year with Auburn. They play Penn State, they play Pitt, and they play Texas Tech and TCU to open up. So if, like Auburn last year, which had Brian Harsin as dead man walking, then left him there, and the players knew he was gone, and then they struggled until they finally let him go. I wonder what's going to happen with Neil Brown if they don't have some early season success, and that's a rugged first 5 games.
I'm glad you brought up Auburn. I didn't have Auburn on my list to ask you, but let me just, they're playing UMass, and look, UMass got a win last week in week 0, but I am interested what you think we're going to see from Hugh Freeze with the new quarterback there, Peyton Thorne, coming in from Michigan State.
Yeah, I think they get to a bowl game this year. I don't think they're a contender in the West. I don't think they're one of the best teams. They'll be towards the bottom. But I do think they can get to a bowl game. It's not overwhelming talent, but they are good at some positions. In the opener, by the way, I actually lean with UMass plus the points. When I talked to Don Brown, his goal this year is to get to a bowl. That's a little bit of a concern for this game because they're off a game that was winnable. They've got winnable games on deck. You got to think this one's not winnable. But Don Brown's pretty confident in the team he's got this year. So I think they keep it under the 35 points this week. But overall, I think Auburn will have a better year. And the key is going to be the belief factor. The players are going to be bought in and listening to the head coach, something that wasn't really the case the middle of the year when they left Coach Harsin twisting in the wind.
Yeah, boy, it was an ugly scene at Auburn last year. Phil, I remember being at SEC Media Days last summer, and everybody just knew. I think you said he was a dead man walking. Everybody knew he was just a lame duck coach, and it wasn't going to work. But they move on to the Hugh Freeze era. Another SEC team that's in maybe if Florida State LSU is the headliner, maybe the co-main would be North Carolina against South Carolina. The Tar Heels with Drake May are a 2.5-point favorite. This is a neutral site game in Charlotte. Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks are feeling themselves a little, Phil. There was a lot of confidence around that team at SEC Media Days this summer. How do you think it goes, the battle of North Carolina and South Carolina?
Yeah, and, if you would have played this game before the final 4 weeks of last year, North Carolina would probably be about a 17 to 20-point favorite. But, of course, North Carolina had a poor last 4 weeks, and South Carolina had a remarkable last 4 weeks. Knocked Tennessee and Clemson out of the playoff, basically, and took Notre Dame to the wire. Spencer Rattler, I think if he plays like he did in those last 4 games, gives South Carolina a good shot at the upset here. In fact, I'm leaning with the Gamecocks in this one. I think North Carolina's got the better offense, the better quarterback. but South Carolina is not far behind. And defensively, South Carolina is very close as well. Special teams is what it might come down to, and if it does, look out. South Carolina's got the best special teams in the country. So I think it's going to be a great game, fun to watch, come right down to the wire. I'm going to go with the team with the better special teams in South Carolina to pull the upset.
How about it? Phil Steele calling the outright upset there for the Gamecocks and Shane Beamer. Right down the road from where we are, Phil, Tulane's going to host South Alabama. Of course, Tulane won the Cotton Bowl last year. Trendy pick as well to go back, be the G5 rep for the New Year's Six. But South Alabama comes in, Phil. Tulane's a 6.5-point home favorite this game at Ullman Stadium down in uptown New Orleans. What do you think about the Wave welcoming in South Alabama there in week one?
I really like this South Alabama team. And, Kane Womack, the first year he was the head coach, pretty honest with me on all the positions. And offensive line, he was like, Phil, I'm really worried about our offensive line. And they had a lot to worry about that year. But now in this third year, he says the offensive line's gone from a weakness, which it was, all the way to a strength. And the rest of the unit's loaded. I mean, they got Carter Bradley, a quarterback who is a dynamic transfer from Toledo. LaDamian Webb, who originally signed at Florida State, is an outstanding running back. They've got Lacey and Boysen at wide receiver. A defensive line that's vastly underrated. Watch the defensive line in this game. These guys are Power 5 caliber. Yam Banks is back at the Husky position. It is a very loaded South Alabama team, and Tulane's got a big game on deck next week against Ole Miss. I think South Alabama has an upset possibility here.
It is a Tulane 6.5-point line there. It'll be a packed house. It is going to be it'll be a really good college football environment in uptown New Orleans there with the Wave and the Jaguars. Phil, I want to finish with LSU Florida State, so let me get a couple other ones, then we'll circle back. And I do want to ask what you think about Northwestern and Rutgers. I get it. You kind of have to be a college football junkie to love that one, but considering what Northwestern went through this offseason and their longtime head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, no longer there, it's hard to kind of handicap, Phil, what that might do for the psyche of a team or whatnot, but what do you make of this? Rutgers is a 6.5-point favorite over Northwestern. That game is in Piscataway. Northwestern at Rutgers.
Yeah, and I think if Fitzgerald was still there, Rutgers would be a 3 or 4 point favorite. So the line has gone up a little, but even with it going up a little, I still got to lean with Rutgers. I mean, Schiano's in his third year there at Rutgers, and he's got the program pointed in the right direction. Northwestern, just losing Fitzgerald is big. They lost a couple of transfers who were able to transfer once you fire your head coach. You got to wonder about the overall psyche of the team. Frankly, I'm surprised the number's still under a touchdown. So I'm going to take Rutgers and lay under a touchdown in this one.
Okay. Two more I want to get to, Phil. One is the Monday night game, and it's Clemson at Duke. It's an ACC matchup, week one. That's a true road test. They're expecting the biggest environment ever for a Duke home game there on campus. The 9th-ranked Clemson Tigers, who feel people just little old Clemson. Just kind of forget Florida State's the hot team now, and people kind of forget about little old Clemson there going on the road to take on Duke. What do we think about Clemson against the Blue Devils?
Yeah, and there's a lot of games that we've discussed so far, Matt, that I'm sort of, I'm waiting to watch and see what the teams bring to the table this year. But this one, I definitely like Clemson. And when I talked to Coach Sweeney, went over the team with them, you remember that 2018 defensive line they had, which was just star-studded, loaded with NFL guys? He said that this year's group doesn't have the star power of 2018. However, he feels they're deeper in talent and experience than the 2018 group. And, look no further than you go up front, you got a true freshman in Woods, who I think is going to be one of the most impact players in the ACC this year. And I couldn't even find a starting spot on the line for him. I've got him listed as a backup. They were just absolutely loaded on the D-line. Linebacker, they got Carter and Trotter back. The secondary's outstanding. Offensive line's a veteran group. Receiving core is good. And I think with Garrett Riley coming in and operating the offense, Cade Klubnik lives up to his PS number 1. Remember, he was the ACC championship game MVP. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a very dangerous Clemson team, one that will not be looking past Duke. And Duke, I like their talent. They've got Riley Leonard, but you're going to get Clemson's A game here. They only have Charleston Southern, Florida Atlantic on deck. Everybody, a lot of folks on the ACC network saying Duke could potentially pull the upset. I'm not saying they don't. I think Clemson has a good crowd here, and I like Clemson to win this one by more than 2 touchdowns. One of my stronger plays of the week.
He is Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Of course, PhilSteele.com. That's STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Get to YouTube. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Okay, Phil, let's not make him wait any longer. LSU, Florida State, a top 10 matchup. It is the marquee game here of week 1 of the college football season. We all know what happened last year in the Superdome. LSU went in pretty confident of that game and just played a miserable football game. Florida State beat them. Both teams 10 wins. Both teams now top 10 in the country. LSU a slim 2.5-point choice. All right, Phil, down in Orlando, how does it go with the Tigers and the Noles?
Yeah, what a difference a year makes, Matt, because last year at this time we had a lot of questions about LSU. There was basically a brand new team, a ton of transfers coming in. Now you've got a second-year head coach in Brian Kelly, and every second-year coach I've ever talked to has told me, hey, Phil, we're in so much better shape than last year. Players know the schemes, players know the systems we've got, and we know the players, and that's the case with LSU. And they're a much more experienced team as well, going from number 109 to number 49 on my experience chart. They definitely deserve to be in the top 10 where they are. Now, Florida State, same thing. Last year at this time, we were talking about Mike Norvell being on the hot seat. Yep. 2 straight losing seasons to open up, and now he's got a team that's ranked very highly in the preseason top 10. The thing that surprised me, Matt, is when I was going through my position rankings after they sent the magazine to the press, was Florida State's rankings. And it's not surprising to see a top 10 team have all 7 units ranking my top units in the front of the magazine. Naturally, LSU does as well. But the thing that stood out to me was after I went back and looked at the ratings, I actually have them ranked in the top 15 in all 7 offensive and defensive categories. LSU's close. They're pretty much in the top 25 in all 7, but Florida State's in the top 15. So this is a talented Florida State team. The game's in Orlando. I'm just going to sit back and watch it. I can tell you, though, my computer actually has Florida State by 2 points in this one, and they're the underdog. But, I've never found great value betting on the marquee game of the week, and it's the only top 10 versus top 10 matchup. So I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, and we're going to learn about both teams.
Phil, I always like when you and your computer fight with each other. Those for me are the fun ones. Now, that's normally when I'm like, I don't know if I want to disagree with Phil or his computer in this instance. But LSU, Florida State, Sunday night, it's going to be a fun one. One team is going to see its national title hopes take a big jump. The other basically on life support. We've never seen a 2-loss team make the college football playoff. He is Phil Steele. Our chats with Phil all throughout this year, every single Friday, are presented by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer. GageGenerators.com. That's GAGE, GageGenerators.com if you want to go get your quote. Of course, you can find Phil stuff everywhere. Phil, you want to tell them about the Phil Steele Plus Tour on YouTube?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. The Phil Steele Plus Tour with selections is up right now. Just go to PhilSteele.com or go to YouTube and get the Phil Steele Tour. I give you 4 selections and 3 quick hitters this week. A lot of free information and show you how to use Phil Steele Plus, which is the tool I use for handicapping. And we put some new stuff up there this year, Matt. We got some new stuff on Phil Steele Plus we haven't had up there before, so make sure you check it out this year.
It is right there. If you're not subscribed to Phil's YouTube channel, what a guy. He gives you free plays every Friday. Like, why would you not be subscribed to Phil Steele's YouTube channel? Go get it right now and learn about Phil Steele Plus. Phil, it's a pleasure. We're glad to have you back. We're looking forward to doing it every single Friday here throughout the season.
Always enjoy my conversations, Matt, and have yourself a great top 10 matchup this week.
We're looking forward to it. That is the one and only Phil Steele. It's after further review. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans. There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet. The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number one. Thanks to Phil Steele for being with us. Looking forward to that. Theriot every Friday. Theriot right after the top of the hour. That is a Football Friday tradition here. We wrap up hour number one with our Football Friday tailgate segment. Our guy, Coben Linedecker from Chris's Specialty Foods, good enough to join us in studio here, and he always brings the goods. How are you, dude?
Awesome, man. Glad to be back.
Dude, it's good to see you. When you're here, we know it's football time, and it's time to eat. Of course, that's just as big a part of the culture as anything around here. All right, so a lot of times we like to do the eat the competition type thing, right? They can play Auburn, we can do chicken, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
When you play the Seminoles, I mean, what do you do? So what was your idea today?
So, opening day of football, so I went with some of the just originals, firing up the grill. So we did our smoked ribeye sliders.
Oh.
We did some smoked chicken wings, some smoked brisket sausage, and then, of course, I had to do something for Florida State. So a couple years ago, we remember Jameis Winston stealing the crab legs. So I did some of our homemade crab cake sliders.
I thought when you and Tressie and I were texting earlier this week about doing some of the crab cakes, I thought you were just joking. I didn't think you were going to actually do it, but crab cake sliders is a hell of a pull, man.
Yeah, they're very good, man. So
all right, so let's talk about the ribeye sliders first. So, I mean, that's ribeye meat into sort of ground beef. Like, how do you go about doing these?
Yeah, so of course we have our hand cut steaks that we cut on a weekly basis, and then we take all of those trimmings, grind them together, And then we make prime ribeye sliders that come out amazing.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So when you sell them, are you selling the ribeye patties already made?
Yeah, so they're already made. They come in packs of 4, and we have them fresh at all the stores right now for the weekend.
That's awesome. And so then the little those pistolets or just little slider buns, where do you get those?
Yeah, so we have some in the stores already. Cool. We try to make it easy for you, so we have buns already ready to go for you.
Anything? Do you add anything to them, or do you just like grab them, throw them on the grill?
They're already pre-seasoned, ready to go. You just need to add some toppings on what you want with your bun.
Got it. And then let's talk about the wings as well. Of course, you want to smoke wings. Is this something where you need a smoker, or can you just do that on a pit?
No, yeah, you don't need a smoker at all. I mean, even if you don't have a grill, you could do them in the oven. I just smoked them for $350 for an hour, and then hit them with like a honey glazed barbecue sauce, and they came out very good.
What if I don't have honey glazed barbecue sauce?
You can do anything, any topping, but I like a sweet barbecue. That's always my go-to.
So that's your barbecue sauce. You want sweet on the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And then I know y'all have tons of sausage as well. So what did you bring?
Yeah, this is our smoked brisket sausage.
So explain to me smoked brisket sausage.
So same thing. We have our hand-cut briskets that we do. Once we clean those up and all the trimmings, again, we grind together with some more beef, and we shoot it into sausage form.
You shoot it in. How do you do that? Do I want to know? Is this the definition of like how the sausage is made? Like, do you really want to see how the sausage is made?
It's we have machines that do it, and then we just stick it in casing.
Nice. And then the crab cakes as well. So those are crab cake sliders. So they're little, for those listening and not watching, you can watch this on YouTube and you can see the platter that he's got here. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we already have them pre-packaged, ready to go, pre-seasoned. You just have to bake them in the oven. They're already cooked. You just got to heat them up. We have them, they're packaged 2 per pack.
And one of the things I know when I've gone to Chris's in the past and I've gotten, meals or meat, whatever it is that is like pre-packaged, you'll have like the cooking or heating instructions on everything, right?
Absolutely. It comes on all the tags, and we also have sheets at the front of the store where you check out of cooking instructions on how to cook and heat everything in the store.
All right, it's our Football Friday tailgate segment with Chris's Specialty Foods. Coben Leindecker's in studio with us. He always brings the goods. So it's a good chance to check us out on YouTube if you're not watching, as you can see how beautiful this looks. But what if people are more like do-it-yourself, like they don't want something that's already prepared, they want to do it themselves? How what do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just one of our pre-made game day platters.
Okay, so you can buy this platter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give us a call, and we can make a specialty platter for whatever you want. We have over 200 items in the store. We can throw you something together. Or, of course, we have our fresh displays and frozen displays of all of our meats that are uncooked, raw, ready to take home, season, and do it yourself.
Is this for a road game? Is it bigger on the store for road games or for home games?
It's pretty even for road games. People that are not going typically like to stay home and grill and chill at the house. But also for home games, tailgates is a huge thing. People love the platters. People love just easy stuff to take with them on campus to cook there for tailgates.
Yeah, because I would think that it makes sense. You would think, oh, well, tailgating, obviously people are going to come get their meat or whatever to throw on the grill to tailgate. But honestly, I think it the other way, man. A lot of people go out to campus and they're not, maybe they'll leave the stadium or whatever the case may be. When the team's on the road, it says like, man, everybody's going to have a game watch. You're going to fire up the grill, whatever it may be. So it feels like weekends like this would be really big.
Yeah, man. Usually this is the best time to call over the buddies, drink some beer, and grill some good food.
You can get Chris's on Millerville in Baton Rouge, Airline Highway in Prairieville. That's the one by my house. That's the one that I always go over to. And then, of course, in Lakeview as well in New Orleans.
Yes.
So if you're down in NOLA, the Lakeview store is there for you. You can always hit them online as well at chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Chris, like back-to-back S's, Chris, CHRS, specialtyfoods.com. is where you can get them. So you can see all the menu, everything that they have. You can give me gift cards as well. Is that a food truck?
Yeah.
When
We just
Look
a couple
at
months ago,
that.
we
When-
bought a food truck, so now we do.
Because why not, right?
If we do private parties, we do all family reunions and all kind of stuff.
I didn't know y'all were doing that. So, like, for how big of a size party?
It doesn't matter. We've done a private party for 20 people, and then we've done events where there's been 3,000 people.
Oh,
so,
geez.
Yeah.
All right. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com to get the website, ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. Coben is also the defensive line coach at the Dunham School. He's got one Houston Theriot on his defensive line. Give us the rundown on little Theriot.
Yeah, man. Houston, if you look at him, you wouldn't think he's the biggest guy on the field. But since he is that small and that quick, it's tough for bigger offensive linemen to get their hands on. So he's a great speed. We play him at a zero nose technique, and he's a great speed guy for those big offensive linemen to get hands on.
We got a Theriot playing nose tackle.
Yes.
I mean, now look, Houston's wiry now.
Yeah.
Like,
Kid's got a motor on him.
oh yeah, he
doesn't
does.
stop.
He's an aggressive dude. He's always been an aggressive dude. So what? So and he's going into his senior year now.
Yep, he's a
so
senior.
So all right, who do the Dunham Tigers have tonight?
We're at Parkview tonight at 7.
Oh, this is a big
yeah,
one. Okay,
yeah, big game.
Dunham Parkview. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I know where Ryan's going to be heading as soon as we get off air here.
He'll be at Parkview tonight.
All right, before you get out of here, give me a thought, man. LSU and Florida State.
So I think both offenses are gonna get after it. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. As everyone, the DB situation scares me a hair for LSU, but I think our offense is too good. Offensive line, Jaden Daniels. I'm gonna go 31-24 LSU.
You almost picked my score. Almost identically. But you'll have to wait till the end of the show to get my score. Coben Linedecker from Chris's Specialty Foods. Thanks, dude. We appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your football weekend. All right, hour 2, Theriot coming up right after SportsCenter. Don't move.
AFR.
Speaking of Theriot, brought to you by Traction. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. You know, if your son or daughter wants to become the best high school athlete they could be, maybe it's going from the JV to the varsity, maybe from being a backup to being a starter. Maybe your son or daughter has college or next level ambitions, and you want to give them that leg up to train to be able to get that college scholarship in whatever sport it may be. Look, for some of y'all listening, y'all already know your college or professional athletes, they work out at Traction. They train at Traction. The same trainers, the world-class trainers, the world-class facility that professional athletes in all sports choose to come to Baton Rouge to train at Traction, that's available to your son or daughter. They have sport-specific small group training. So your daughter's a swimmer, your son plays lacrosse or football, your daughter's a basketball, volleyball player. You can get sport-specific training at a world-class facility with world-class trainers at Traction. Learn more at TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. That's Traction, where champions are made.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day. Mornings with Brian Haldane from 6 to 9 a.m. Weekdays on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another change on the way for the college sports landscape. The ACC is inviting Stanford, Cal, and SMU. The expansion will bring the league to 18 members, with 17 playing football full-time in the conference. The additions in all sports starting in the 2024-2025 school year. ESPN radio host Chris Canty.
For the ACC as a whole, this is a good step. You're talking about 18 schools and 17 of them being full-time football participants. The only one that's not is Notre Dame, but they play a healthy slate of ACC games.
Chris Canty on Greeny. Next year, the Big Ten will have 18 schools, 16 each in the Big 12 and SEC. The Pac-12 will have 2. Major League Baseball will keep its pitch clock rules during the postseason. The clock has been a success this regular season, reducing the average game time by nearly 25 minutes. Cubs won the opener of their doubleheader with the Reds 6-2. Chicago's 2.5 back of NL Central leading Milwaukee holds the second NL wildcard spot. Cincinnati 2 out of the third NL wildcard spot. U.S. Open on ESPN. Francis Tiafoe leads Adrian Manarino 2-1.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot. Presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette. And online at alphacustoms.net.
How's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
I have a good idea. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers, and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Theriot around third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Tigers win. Tigers win. Go.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Theriot.
Let's go.
We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yeah, man.
Yo, right.
Hey, I got news for you.
Okay.
This might be my last show.
Why?
I don't know if you heard, but Twitter or X started monetizing. Like they're doing rev shares with creators.
Okay.
So you got, if you qualify, a certain amount of followers, impressions, blah blah, you can monetize, right? So when ads post and you get a rev share.
Yeah, as you should.
I just got my earnings distribution for the pay period from August the 18th to September the 1st.
Okay. Give it to me. How much you make?
Elon just dropped a bag in your boy's account.
Did he really?
I mean,
this might be it for you.
$12.99. Let's go.
That's nice. That's better than nothing.
And when I say $12.99, I mean $12.99 is what I mean.
Nice.
I mean,
I like that.
I can go buy myself fast food for dinner if I chose. Not the whole family now.
Just you.
Just me.
Yeah.
Unless if I order off the dollar menu. All right. Glad to have you here. Do you fired up?
Yeah, I'm fired up. Just got confirmation for the guest picker. I'm proud of myself for getting that done, starting the year off right.
Yeah,
Football
man.
season off right.
I am excited about that. Like a couple of years ago, you crushed the guest picker. It actually became what our expectation was for it. We talked about it. Like the whole thing was, let's get someone who would be like college game day worthy, like someone that would actually be on game day.
Yeah,
Remember,
but that's not easy though.
I know, but you got like Evander, you got Gary V, you got Randy Moss. I mean, you got Darius Rucker. Like you got actual real dudes. Barkley did it one time. Remember?
Like real dudes.
Danny Warfel, Heisman Trophy winner. Like we got dudes on there. And then you just stop.
Then that was.
But I'm excited today. Like you're starting this season off right.
Yep.
You are starting this season off. Give me a little bit.
I don't know if I set the bar too high, but I don't think
so. All right. So how's your week?
Week's been good.
Yeah, it has been good.
Yeah, it's a good week. Now, it's game week. I mean, first week, first football game coming up. Week 0 last week. Able to watch some games. Of course, you had the Notre Dame, hype train started. They played Navy, who stinks. Now all of a sudden Notre Dame's going to win it all. But high school football starting this week, and it's not 103 outside. It was only 99 when I was on the way over here, so that was good. Fall's coming.
96 right now.
96.
There it is.
It's cooling off.
There it is. It is cooling off. That's a fact.
It's been a real good week. I've been under the weather for a little while. This week is the first week where I felt like back to myself.
Feeling better. Good.
Yeah, I was able to get in the gym. So there's a lot of positives, man.
Good.
I'm really excited about the game Sunday.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I know
Uh,
you were feeling bad for a while there. I'm glad you're on the up and up.
Yeah, I'm back. But
good.
So I pinned a letter.
Okay.
Today, and it's kind of in preparation for the football season. That I would like to read to you guys, and so here goes.
Okay.
All right. Dear morons who get all drunk and take to social media or the internet to either bash or offer advice to the LSU football program.
Okay. Just gonna sit up now.
Nothing brings out the idiots quite like the LSU football team. Traffic after the game sucks, but back in the day when people would call in, I could at least get a good laugh while driving home, listening to all the dummies call in.
Yep.
I looked forward to that.
Yep.
I often find myself looking forward to a close loss. Like I kind of want, sometimes when it's close, I want the team to lose.
Okay.
Because I know people who I feel are kind of smart are going to prove to me that the purple and gold makes them turn stupid.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
People who have never, and I mean never, put on the pads, all of a sudden have the magic answer as to why LSU can't tackle in space. Some 5'6", 280-pound dude who hasn't run a mile in 20 years somehow knows why Jaden Daniels decided to check down rather than throw the ball deep. It's amazing. Or the best is when somebody's mom jumps on Facebook to criticize play calling. Are you serious, lady? Like that actually happens. You literally eavesdropped your husband's conversations with his buddies and ran to your phone to make a post and try to sound smart. You're not fooling anyone. You're a freaking administrative assistant who got cut from the cheerleading squad in high school So you had to be the mascot because your mom wanted you to participate in extracurricular activities. You don't know anything about football. Okay?
Muse loves it.
You don't know anything about play calling.
Muse is laughing so hard.
Just because you donate to TAF, it doesn't automatically make you an expert on football. You're probably the same guy that blasted Scott for not hiring Billy Napier.
You need to get that drop, by the way.
Your social media feed is littered with freezing cold takes.
You need to get that drop.
You'll spend the next 5 months trying to convince everyone you talk to that Walker Howard should be the starting quarterback.
He's not here anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Matt, the past few weeks I've been dealing with some stomach issues, as you know. It got kind of bad.
Yeah, no.
So what do you do when it gets bad?
You go to the doctor.
You call the doctor. You go to the doctor. So I called the doctor.
Glad you did.
I called the best gastroenterologist in town. His name's Dr. Taylor, Robert Taylor.
Attaboy.
Stud, by the way. Shout out, Doc Taylor. Attaboy.
Way to go, Bob.
You got your boy back right. I didn't call my buddy who sells cars to help me feel better. I called an expert in the field in which I needed help.
Got it.
Hey, at #1 Tiger Fan 99, you work at Rubicon. Just because you've been a member of Tiger Droppings for 15 years doesn't make you an expert in the sport of football. If you'd have been commenting on welding, maybe people would take you seriously. But damn it, man. You can't even tell the difference between man-to-man and zone. Here we go, people. You guys ready? Enjoy the game, win or lose. Pull for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Buy as much purple and gold crap as you can.
Yep.
Help Baton Rouge. It's
Yep.
good for industry.
Good for the economy, yeah, for sure.
Good for the economy. And Joe Burrow only comes around once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So enjoy the moment. Sincerely, Ryan.
That's a fact. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey and Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Was there earlier today, as a matter of fact. HRT, great option for a lot of people. Going to feel like your younger self. We all age differently. Maybe if you're slowing down, gaining weight, hard to build muscle, hard to lose weight, not sleeping well at night, hard to fall asleep, hard to stay asleep, lots of different things. Energy during the day, you crack. That's part of aging. Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. Also, all this month, you got that tattoo you regret?
No, I don't, but...
Well, if somebody does.
I did get Morpheus.
You did?
Oh, gosh. Game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer. Shout out to Ellen over there, by the way.
Shout out Ellen. Saw Ellen today.
Yeah, shout out to Ellen.
I
Best
did
in the
see
business. She's the best in the game.
She is. I saw Ellen earlier today. She's the GOAT. She was helping me with, I was looking at some supplements. I've been thinking about taking Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain. I was like, do y'all have anything that's comparable to that, like a focus type thing, to maximize focus and energy and all this, cognitive ability. And so she was kind of explaining some of the stuff that they had. Shout out, Ellen.
Ellen's a GOAT.
At the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Got Kick Rocks coming up. We do need to talk a little bit about the University of Florida football team.
What a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they stink. We're going to
Stink.
do that at the bottom of the hour, along with ACC expansion. That's happening. And our celebrity guest picker in 48 minutes. We actually have a really for real, true, like a guy, like a dude, like a real guy, a celebrity, like a real celebrity guest picker. I don't even know that people believe me. They're going to, they might be think we're just putting on because it's like one of those Chicken Little things. The boy who cried wolf. The boy who cried wolf, not Chicken Little. You know the boy who cried wolf?
Maybe.
You don't know that? This boy kept going to all the townsfolk, and they're like, he's like, oh, it's a wolf, and so they'd all run and scramble, and he was just joking. Well, then one time a wolf actually came, and so he went and was like, oh, look, a wolf, and they're like, yeah, get out of here, Johnny, you loser, we're not falling for that again.
The wolf ate his leg off.
And the wolf ate everything, ate all the sheep, and ate all the people, and just killed everybody.
Did it kill the kid?
All of them, everybody.
The kid
I
too?
don't know. I don't remember all that.
It ate his leg off.
I think it was more like, they were sheep, like the wolf ate the herd type thing.
And it was the kid's fault.
Well, because you've heard the expression, the boy who cried wolf? That's the story.
It's digital. You either did it or they didn't do it.
That's not digital. That's not what that is. No. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Football season is here. You going to be tailgating? Better go to Rouse's.
Yeah, you do.
You want to know why?
Yep.
They got everything you need. You want beverages for the kids and the whole family? You want adult beverages? beer, wine, whiskey, whatever your preference is.
I like the sweets, like the themed like cookies and stuff.
They got all that.
They got that?
Go into the bakery. Walk into Rouse's, go to the left. That's where they got the seafood department. They got the meats and the butcher, and they got the baker over there as well. They got the florist.
LSU cookies?
Of course.
Cupcakes?
Yes. Cakes, naturally, everything you want.
I like cake.
You need to go make groceries?
Mm-hmm.
Rouse has been helping people do that for 60 years. They even got the app now. You go on the app, pick out all your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them all out for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots.
Bada bing, bada boom, there it
Bada bing,
is.
bada bing, bada boom. Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints is football time, y'all. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down to
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge
introduction in this. Ride business round the city on buttons in this. Arm hanging, wrist blinging, just stunting in this. Drop the top, block is high, stay bumping in this. Be Andrews, get it right, don't tangle and twist it. Hit the club every night, drunk, drinking.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Hey, what are you doing for the game?
LSU?
Yeah. I mean, what? LSU.
Well, we got a big game that's getting ready to happen right now after this. Like, I'm hauling butt after this. Dunham Parkview.
Dunham and Parkview.
Big one.
How is this going to go in the Theriot household? Because it's a house divided now.
It's been a discussion.
Is it really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Jonna, this has been stressing her out for the last 2 or 3 days.
Are the girls cheering?
No.
For Parkview?
No,
they're not.
They're not cheering this
year.
So
can we say the Theriot children?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Theriot children, the girls, Macy and Georgia, are now at Parkview.
Correct.
Houston is a senior at Dunham. So Parkview, Dunham tonight, it's it's a family divide. It's a house divided.
A little bit. I mean, and the girls, like,
What-
they've got friends. They're new.
Yeah.
And, so they want to kind of do that. But then they've got a lot of friends at Dunham, obviously.
And their brothers on the team.
How's
it going to go?
And it's, dude, I don't know, man.
Okay, we need some help here. Muse, maybe this could be a poll question. While you eat that ribeye slider, use your clean hand to put up the poll question, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been.
You got it.
It's been a discussion. It really has.
So all right, give us some advice, either by Ford YouTube chat, tweet us or X us.
Hey, Twitter. Not Twitter. Hey, X world.
Or you could text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Like, what do you do in this instance? You've got your child is on the Dunham team.
Senior year, bro. Like last go around. It's the last hurrah.
Your daughters go to school at Parkview.
Yep.
And they went to Dunham prior.
Yep.
I don't know what you do. You got to cheer. You got to cheer for your son.
I'm on the Dunham side. John is on the Dunham. I'm cheering for my kid.
You got to cheer for your son.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. It's like remember in Mighty Ducks when Adam Banks, he went from the Hawks to District 5 or the Ducks, and his dad kept being a jerk wearing the Hawks jacket and sitting with the Hawks people. It's like, no, man, you go cheer for your son.
You go cheer for your
That's what you do. That's what I think anyway.
And my advice was, you got the girls, they can just walk from side to side. You know what I mean? But nobody's going to say anything to you if you're wearing your brother's jersey and pulling for you. It's your brother.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's what I would do.
So anyway.
That's tough.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, think about Jamie Howard. What do you think? I love Jamie. Jamie went to LSU, played LSU, loves it. His kid plays for Ole Miss now.
Yeah.
When Ole Miss and LSU play in Oxford in a few weeks, he's got to be wearing Ole Miss stuff.
Oh, he's wearing Ole Miss.
You got to.
100%.
That's your kid. Your family is going to trump all other allegiances. It's got to, right?
It should.
Yeah.
It definitely should.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right. I don't know what we're going to do for the LSU game. We've got Garth Brooks tomorrow.
You're going to Garth, okay.
Yep. Got Garth Brooks, Laney Wilson, and
The Garth in Tiger Stadium thing was like the biggest thing in the world.
It was awesome.
Am I right to say that the Garth in New Orleans thing doesn't seem like it's as big of a deal?
No,
or is it a big deal?
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal?
Well,
Okay.
Laney Wilson opening is a big deal for him. She's hot right now.
I don't know who that is.
And so that's a big deal. Obviously, it won't be as many people, and it won't be as loud and all that stuff.
Stadium.
I mean,
Are they going to sell it out?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sold out relatively quick.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, look, the reason, and I saw him last year, so it's like, why would you go see him again? He put on an amazing show.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, he had butt sweat after the first song.
Yeah.
Dripping.
It was also outside in May.
That's right. But I mean, but he never checked up. He didn't catch his breath. It was just boom, 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 boom. Like this guy.
Nah, he brought out the lady. The lady came out and sang, and he chilled for a minute.
Yeah.
The lady.
Yeah, the lady.
His wife. What's her name?
I don't know.
Yep. Don't look at me like I'm
Miranda
supposed
Lambert?
to know.
Is that his wife? I don't know.
Miranda Lambert.
Trisha Yearwood.
She came out and sang.
Reba? Is he married to Reba? I don't know.
No, not Faith
I
Hill.
thought you were.
That's Tim McGraw.
Yeah, you were.
Tim McGraw?
Country guy.
Mr. Country? Not yet.
Oh, you're not?
Tomorrow I will be.
Oh.
The boots are going on.
Boots.
Actually, I'm not wearing boots tomorrow.
Cowboy
and I'm not
hat.
wearing the No, I'm not doing it.
No, really? Good for you.
I'm not doing it.
You know-
I was super uncomfortable with the boots, cowboy hat, belt buckle, whole thing last time. I just
that was for Tracy Lawrence when you went to that.
I did it for Tracy Lawrence too.
Yeah.
I felt good though. I felt like I looked the part.
Okay.
The jeans were kind of tight. I'm like, this is I'm him right now.
You're not him.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what posers can do? Posers can kick rocks.
It's time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge. Or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
How you doing?
And they're probably my favorite pair that I have in my closet. Those guys. The gum bottom, dunk lows.
The Nike SB Dunks with the gum bottom. White with the black swoosh gum bottom.
They are so good.
How you doing? Check out my socks, too. Shout out Dead Soxy. I still rock my Dead Soxies every day. By the way, my Dead Soxy code is still live. If anybody wants socks from Dead Soxy, use the code Matt. It's 30% off. It's, as far as I know, the best promo code they have.
30%'s a lot.
Well, like normally what they do with like affiliate programs is 20% off, and they give like I think 30% to the influencer or whoever. And I was like, let's flip that. Like you can give me 20% and do 30% discount. So if you do, I love Dead Soxy. I mean, I'm a customer. I wear their socks literally every day. So that code is still active. So if anybody wants to use it, always feel free.
Do some shopping in the break.
DeadSoxy.com. Use the code Matt, M-A-T-T, 30% off. They're great LSU socks. All their socks are awesome. I wear them every day, literally.
Most storied baseball program on this planet, the New York Yankees.
Yeah, they are.
How many championships?
27.
27 world titles.
Yep.
27 world titles.
Yep. Not getting another one soon either.
Their all-time greats team beats everybody by 100.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you've had the same ownership family for a really, really long time. And the New York Yankees are in a really bad spot right now.
I miss the boss.
You know, they've got some veterans that are elite high-level veterans. One or two. Really one. And they've got some young guys that are really nice, too, that are good players, but they just can't figure it out. It's a bad mix. It's a culture thing, I believe. And Aaron Boone.
I miss the boss.
I like Booney as a person, but he is not getting the job done. The New York Yankees right now can kick rocks.
Kick rock.
He was irresponsible, but damn it, he wanted to win. And I respect that. I wonder if our guest picker may have a thought.
We should talk to him about it. I know he'll have an opinion. I promise you that.
Okay.
Chris Fowler last night sucked. But then again, Matt, Chris Fowler always sucks.
The weird thing about Chris Fowler is he was the greatest host of Game Day. Like Reese Davis is a fantastic studio host. Chris Fowler is the best ever. But he wanted to do play-by-play. And he's just not good at it.
No. He stinks.
Like literally the opening kickoff. He goes, well, you'll expect this one to go 9 yards deep. It's why they brought him here. Big leg, boom it through. Kick to the goal line.
Yeah.
Like, Muse was telling, what were you saying, Muse? There was one I missed when I was toggling back and forth.
Bombed a field goal. I mean, it was like a 51-yarder or something like that. I don't know. Utah was kicking it. And kid nails it, and Fowler's just like, and he booms it through, and it was just so clearly wide left. It was not boomed through.
It's a tough job. Like, doing play-by-play is not easy, and I have respect for people that do it at the highest level completely. And it's impossible to be 100% right. It's just weird because college football's premier team went from Brett Musburger, who's literally on the short list of greatest play-by-play men that have ever lived, to Fowler, who was amazing at this thing he did. Like, his forever legacy was, he's the 30 years the college game day was awesome at it. But he wanted to do play-by-play. And so they didn't want to lose Chris Fowler, so let him do play-by-play. And it's
nice, stinks at it.
I don't know, I feel bad. I don't want to, like...
He's not good at it. And he can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
It's okay. Can't be good at everything. So we got a election coming up here for the governor election coming up.
Yeah, I don't do politics.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Here next year, and so.
Well, no, it's this year, right? It's November.
November. So you know what happens whenever the elections happen? Is you get campaign commercials.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Commercials are all over the place.
You
Yep.
got signs everywhere, and you got commercials.
Signs. Yes, the signs. The signs are ridiculous. Yeah. Like, is anybody really voting because they see a sign? I really don't know, but it's like
maybe.
Well, you go down Stanford, right by the LSU lakes, just
everywhere,
just giant. Vote for Dixon, by the way.
Vote for Dixon.
Vote for Dixon.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Dixon.
I'm not in his district, but if I was, I'd vote for Dixon.
So some of these commercials, and this look, there's not like one singular offender where I'm just like, this guy's an idiot. They're all like really not good. So whoever dresses the people for the commercials, they need to be fired. Just the two guys that might win. Let me just say this: the two guys that might win, the person that's dressing them and says, "Yeah, that outfit works. Let's do that." They need to be fired. Okay. And then the person that's writing the script.
Not talking about this.
The person that's writing the scripts, you need to fact check things, okay? So if your father was an architect.
Is this a real thing that happened?
Yeah.
Are you giving a story that because I am politically agnostic. I do not care.
If your father was an architect.
Okay.
Times weren't tough when you grew up.
Got it.
They weren't.
So this is in a commercial where someone had tough times.
But they weren't tough if your dad was an architect.
Okay.
They weren't.
No, they weren't tough.
They just weren't.
They weren't tough.
Like you were okay. You were all right. All right. So it's like whoever's proofing that though, like come on, man.
Times are tough if like both parents were unemployed and it was the Great Depression.
Times are tough.
Times are tough.
You know what I mean?
The Great Depression was tough.
But not if Pop was an architect and mom had a good job. Like
I don't even know. I do not know who you're talking about. So do not mistake my laughter for anything other than just that's funny.
We need to do a better job with that. Okay. Let me just because if that's what we're up against, I'm thinking about running.
Okay.
If that's what we're up against, and
you
I'm
should
just
run.
I'm just gonna keep it real.
You said you were going to run for a long time. You were going to run for state senate or Metro Council. What were you going to run for?
No, definitely not running for Metro.
Well, maybe state senate. Remember we did, and our friend Doug Morrow called and encouraged you to run.
He did. Doug did call.
He told me many times, like, tell me where to send a check for Ryan. I'll contribute to his campaign.
You know, maybe I should.
No, don't start this again. You're not going to do it.
Maybe I should.
You're not going to do it.
What could I run for that could be impactful, where I could bring the most change? That's what I need to know.
Mayor.
Mayor?
Well, I mean, in your community, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Or governor? I don't know.
I don't know that I want to be governor. Mayor? Maybe.
Run for mayor.
You think I could win?
Yeah.
I could be the mayor?
Mayor.
Would you call me Mr. Mayor?
No. I'm not. Zero chance.
You wouldn't call me Mayor Ryan?
No. There's literally no chance I would ever call you Mayor Ryan.
If I was the president of the United States, would you call me Mr. President?
Maybe like the first time after you got inaugurated and like you came up to me, I'd say like, how are you, Mr. President? Just to try it on.
Yeah.
You know, like that. That would be pretty
And that
cool.
would be it?
That's it. Then you would go back to being, hey, you.
If you call
Rhino.
If
Big
you call
bad
me
Rhino,
Rhino, I'd send you to jail if I
you
was the
can't
president.
send me to jail.
If I was a president,
You
I can
can't
do what I want.
that. No, that's
Yeah,
not
I can.
true. That's not how it works.
I can just do whatever.
No,
if
you
I'm
can't.
the mayor, can I do whatever I want in the city of Baton Rouge?
Yep.
Would you be my campaign manager?
Yes.
When is that election?
I don't know. But I would.
That should be the poll question. Should Ryan run for mayor?
Should Ryan run for mayor? Okay.
What would be my duties? Do you know anything about this?
We're late. We can come
Can
back.
we talk about next segment? We'll ask the
it's
guest
a football
picker.
Friday.
We'll talk to the guest picker about it.
We've got a top 10 matchup. We had football last night. We got football tonight. Football all weekend.
Yeah, but this is more important than that. We're talking about our city here. Baton Rouge needs a change. Baton Rouge needs a change. What should be my campaign slogan?
By the way, we're also on in New Orleans and Alexandria and Lafayette and Lake Charles.
Sorry,
We're
guys.
A lot of places that
My
aren't
bad.
Baton Rouge. So that don't care if you're the mayor of Baton Rouge.
My bad, guys.
Probably don't even know who the mayor of Baton Rouge is.
Well, this is just, they're gonna. Let me tell you something there, Jack. You're going to know.
Kick Rocks brought to you by Ruckus. I'm wearing my Ruckus Nike SB Dunks, white with the black swoosh and the gum bottom. Beautiful.
I've got some sick Vans on. I went to Ruckus last week. I got my game day shoes.
You went to Ruckus?
Got my game day shoes.
You got to stop going there without me. I'm starting to get a little annoyed by this.
Got my game day shoes. Scroll down a little bit.
Ruckus103.com. RUKUS. Ruckus103.com. What?
Keep going.
You got those? Did you get the purple suedes? Did you really?
Whites with the purple check.
Oh, man.
They are. Where are they?
Ruckus103.com. They're at Ruckus is where you can find them. RUKUS103.com. Ruckus. I don't see them on there. They might be sold out. We'll see. I'm looking for them. I don't see them. We'll find them. All right. It's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let's knock out a quick break. Should Theriot run for mayor?
Yeah.
More next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com, agent225.com. If you are thinking about selling your home, I got great news for you. It is a seller's market in Baton Rouge right now. You may think, man, but rates are up and people aren't buying. Not true. We are currently right now sitting at about 3 months worth of inventory on the market. Average is 6 months worth of inventory. What that means is there are less homes on the market right now than there is demand. So if you're thinking about selling your home, this is a great time to list it. And oh, by the way, don't do it yourself. 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. So save yourself the time, save yourself the money. Call Darren James to get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Armani Goodwin is out. He's working hard to get back, but he'll be out for this weekend. Josh Williams is probable, and we've upgraded chemo to probable. So both of those guys will travel.
Brian Kelly, Thursday night meeting with the media, kind of giving the last injury report before LSU takes on Florida State. Sunday night down in Orlando, so no Armani Goodwin in this game, and we know no John Emery. By the way, Kelly was asked for an update on John Emery and kind of confirmed what we told you a couple days ago.
John is in good standing with the program. He's done everything that we've asked him to do. Any other comments would put me in conflict with the Buckley Amendment.
Do you have an exact game that he'll be able to play by?
Yes, Game 3.
So he's going to miss 2 weeks, which is what I kind of heard whispered. What was that, Tuesday? Wednesday. It was Wednesday because it was on the teleconference. So no John Emery, no Armani Goodwin. I still think LSU's offense is fine in this game. Quite honestly, we were talking in the break. The reason I like LSU in this game against Florida State is I love LSU's offense. And we talked about earlier in the week where, if you were here, I ran through the national champions of the college football playoff era, and only one team that's won the national championship in the playoff era has had a pass defense in the top 10. LSU's 2019 team that had Stingley and Fulton and all those guys, they were 59th in pass defense. And I've heard some of y'all say, well, that's because teams were throwing to catch up. Texas threw for 400 yards against LSU. They weren't throwing to catch up. 3rd and 17 was a thing because in the fourth quarter, you were facing a 3rd and 17 where Texas was trying to get the ball back to go potentially win the game. Alabama threw for 400 yards on LSU that day in Tuscaloosa. You won that game by 46-41. You won the game by 5. So, no, it wasn't just teams throwing to catch up. It's an offensive game. Everybody's got – the game is built around offense now. So, you're going to give up passing yards. You accept that. You just have to be able to be efficient offensively and score a lot. And I think this LSU offense is going to be – I could be wrong. Like, we may come back here on Monday, and we are doing shows on Monday, by the way. I may come back here on Monday and go, man, I thought way more highly of this LSU offense than I should have. But I look at a fifth-year senior quarterback. I look at an offensive line that's too deep and really talented everywhere. You've got 4 tight ends, maybe 5 that you really like. A whole gaggle of receivers that are awesome. We talked about the 8 scholarship running backs. Like,
of those position groups, which one's the strongest? Like, which one do you like the most?
Well, quarterback, because it's the most important, and you got a guy that started every game of his career the last 4 years. And I know there's a segment of the LSU fan base that loves and wants to see Garrett Nussmeier, and I get it because you look at the potential and all that, but you can't lose sight of the fact that last year you had no offensive line for 3 quarters of the season. And Jaden Daniels ran for 900 yards and threw for 2,900.
Oh, he kept you in games. Absolutely.
Like, well, he doesn't stretch the field. He threw for 2,900 yards. It was the 5th highest single-season passing total in the history of the program, ever. So, like, you got to recognize how good that guy was last year. Was it flawless? No. But his ability to avoid mistakes allowed you to win close games.
If you don't get him right after Joe Burrow, he's a guy. He's the guy. No, I'm with you. I agree.
So I really, really like LSU's offense. And defensively, I would love it if Mason Smith were playing in this game. But the other thing that we don't talk about is, like, Harold Perkins. I think LSU fans largely, like, come lay on my couch here. You know, like, I think LSU fans are spooked because they lost the game a year ago. I think that's like, if this were a different opponent, I don't think the psychology would be the same. I think because LSU lost to this team a year ago, that's got everybody spooked. But LSU is a dramatically different team. I mean, they're favored to win the game. ESPN FPI is LSU favored. The SP Plus computers have LSU favored to win the game. Like,
and even if you look at the game last year, though, I mean, how many like freakish plays happened in order for LSU to lose that?
No, I don't want to go there because LSU played a horrible football game.
They didn't play good at all. But they muffed fumbles
they muffed 2 punts.
Exactly.
You had they hit Keyshawn Booty on a slant at the goal line, hit him in the 7. He didn't get his head around.
Yep.
You had a field goal blocked. You had the PAT at the end blocked. You couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. Like, Florida State was a better team. Like, it was a miracle that LSU was even in the game. If LSU had come back and won that game, they should have fired Mike Norvell on the bus on the way to the airport. Because the fact that Florida State was winning, and then after the second Malik Neighbors muff punt, which should have ended it, the fact that you weren't taking a knee is unforgivable.
Right.
I mean, they tried to run a play, which caused the fumble that allowed LSU to get the ball to go score the game-tying touchdown, which should have never happened. Like, you got a coaching edge, too, in this game. So I don't mean to come across sounding like an unapologetic homer. I think people who've listened to me for long enough understand that. I'm not supremely confident like last year when LSU played Ole Miss. I mean, I went hard and was like, LSU is not losing this game. And Ole Miss was in the top 10, and they were undefeated. And so people were like, well, I was like, no. Ole Miss is a good team. They're not the 8th best team in the country. They had an easy schedule, and they're about to get humbled. And a lot of Ole Miss people were super pissed at me, and they came after like, man, how'd you know? Because I watched you play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll tell you. If I think they're going to be good, I'll tell you. If I think they're going to win, I'll tell you. If I think they're going to lose, I'll tell you. And I think Florida State could certainly win this game. I'm not putting this as like a, take your life savings to the ticket window type game. I just really like LSU's offense a ton, and I think they're going to outscore Florida State. That's all. Are you running from air?
I like that.
Good. You know what I did today? Well, yesterday, I went to Benny's car wash.
Okay.
Ran through the car wash, and then I had to go get some air in the tire because my tire had gotten low. And it was low about 2 weeks ago. So I put air in it about 2 weeks ago, and then I noticed yesterday it was low again. So I'm like, I got a leak.
Yeah, you need a new tire or something.
I didn't need a new tire. I went to Shaw Bills today. So honest to goodness, true story. So I drop off Drew at school. I went to Aesthetic because I get my weekly injection at Aesthetic right there on Bluebonnet. Then I just came up to Burbank and went to that Shaw Bills.
Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
I pulled in at 9:32. Walked in. Matt, how are you? It's like, I got a slow leak in my rear passenger tire. Can y'all take a look? Yeah, we'll get to it. Took a leak. Made a cup of coffee because I got a Keurig. It's free, just whatever. Sat down. By 9:42, I was out of there. No charge because they do not charge you to repair your tire.
That's right.
He's like, look, yeah, you had this little, it was like this little pin, this little metal pin thing. He's like, yeah, this was in your tire. Got you ready to go. Ship shape. Boom. Hand me my key. Out. No charge. They're awesome.
Yep.
They're just awesome. I mean, the way that you would love to be treated by any business, Shaw Bills does that. They're awesome. So buy your tires at Shaw Bills. Get your car maintenance done at Shaw Bills. They're just the best. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. Got celebrity guest picker in 15 minutes. Are you excited about this?
I am. Very excited about it.
Before you booked the guest picker, when is the last time you talked to the guest picker?
We text, a couple times a year probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, but actual conversation on, I haven't seen him in person in a while.
Hey, we're going to go to break in a second to ask Ryan, how did our picks last week do?
Let's just say Theriot's in the lead right now.
Really?
Yeah.
By how much?
Let me pull it up.
It couldn't have been that. There weren't that many games.
I'll show it to you. Here you go.
All right, let's see. What do we have? You were 6-1. I was 4-3. So he got 2. What were the 2 that I missed that he got? Do you have it?
Yeah, hang on. Theriot got San Diego State.
Okay.
And UMass.
UMass.
And y'all both missed on UTEP.
UMass. UMass has won like 3 games in 4 years.
I had a feeling. Did my research. Talked to the sharps,
Right. All right. Guest picker in 15 minutes. Let's wrap up hour number 1 with a little Ask Ryan. Fire away. Get your questions in for Theriot. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Ask Ryan next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. It's 96 degrees right now. Tomorrow's Saturday. I know a lot of people, you're at home Saturday and Sunday because it's the weekend. And if you have trouble with your AC, you're probably thinking, oh, man, I'm not going to get anybody to get here until Monday. And we're going to sit in a hot house and sweat for the next 2 days. Nope. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. You see the big yellow vans and trucks all over town because they'll always come out nights, holidays, weekends, and they'll never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, weekends. So if your AC is out, call River City's 1 Hour Air. By the way, they always have a real live actual human there to answer the phone. 752-0001, 752-0001. They'll come out, they'll get you back up and running ship shape. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
Baby boy, the prince. Big time on cash my road. Extreme entertainment. This is the way I live. Little boy still pushing big wheels. I stack my money, lay low and chill. Don't need to work hard, that's the way I feel.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Sunday night, LSU, Florida State. As soon as the game finishes, we will be live for Whiskey and Wine. Come join us at Don Juan. T-Bob watches the whole game there. I get there at halftime. Looking forward to it, man.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Sure.
What do my credentials need to look like in order to be the mayor? Like, do I have to?
You don't. There are no credit. You just have to run. We are a citizen government. We are a government of the people, by the people, for the people. That's where things have gotten crossways in our society. You're these career politicians who suck.
So I don't have to check any boxes, or I can just run and just do it. Really?
Everyone's got special interest groups, and it's just awful. That's why I hate it so much.
So I got
years ago, I was doing in news, got to see how the sausage is made. I became so disenchanted with the whole. That's why I hate it. I hate it all. I don't care if you're left or right or red or blue. Y'all are all idiots. Hate them all.
Well, I'm gonna be red.
Like some people can be red and be right. Some people can be blue and be right.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's. Nobody is completely right all the time on everything.
You want a job? I need you on my team.
I don't want a job.
So,
I don't need a job.
About a month.
I hate politics.
About a month ago, I got a nickname. I don't know if anybody knew this.
No one is calling you Squirrel.
That's not Squirrel. It's Cricket.
Cricket. No one is calling you Cricket.
Cricket's a great
Nobody.
nickname.
No one is going to call you Cricket.
Yeah.
You keep trying to make this stupid thing.
I got a
you
new
even
nickname.
made your avatar
a cricket
on Facebook a cricket or on Instagram a cricket.
It happens. I was watching a football game yesterday or last week. Somebody yells, "Hey, Cricket!" And it was, I threw up a deuce. I didn't even know the guy. That was my nickname.
You have a nickname.
Yeah, Cricket.
No, your nickname is Riot. the riot.
So Trent Davis, one of my business partners, he says, here's a great slogan. Don't risk it, vote for cricket.
No.
I like it. Attaboy, Trent.
If I'm going to be your campaign manager, then I am vetoing that slogan. That's stupid.
What about hop on the winning team with the cricket? That's not good?
How do people know you in this town?
No, I get
No,
that. I get
listen
that.
to me.
But
Listen,
this could be a
stop
new
it.
thing.
You're going to answer my question. If I'm going to be your campaign manager, you're going to answer my question. How do people in this town know you?
Well, from here. Yeah, went to LSU.
Yeah, and did what?
Played baseball,
Yeah.
won a national championship.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff that is your single biggest brand equity, and you're saying, I'm going to just flush all that and call myself an insect.
How about
That's stupid.
Win championships with cricket?
Nobody knows who cricket is.
They will, though. That's
No,
me.
they won't.
If I do a cartoon
If you
cricket
don't put
with my
Ryan
face on it.
Theriot and like a picture of you throwing your helmet into the stands on your poster, you're stupid.
I will, but then
No,
I'll have,
no
I'll have
cricket.
a cricket throw
No
in the helmet.
cricket.
What about
I resign.
What about Skeeter?
I resign
Like a
to hope you
mosquito.
lose, and I'm going to vote for your opponent, whoever it is.
Oh, get out of here. I'm running for mayor, people.
Ask
I'm running
Theriot.
for mayor.
Eric Gotro, ask Theriot, do you like char-grilled oysters? I'm cooking some for the game.
I do. I love char-grilled oysters. Very good. Attaboy, stay hot.
Greg Lehman asked Theriot, man, nicknames are the worst, am I right?
No, they're not, man. Not if you get a good one like cricket. Nicknames are awesome.
Stephen Miller asked Ryan, who's the leading rusher and leading wide receiver Sunday night?
Malik Neighbors is going to catch a lot of balls, but I don't think he's going to lead. I think Mason Taylor is going to be the leading wide receiver.
Okay.
And the leading
Like
rusher
it.
is going to be
Like it.
Jackson, the freshman.
I was like, no, it's not going to be. But that. All right. Marcus Eunice asked Ryan, what if Mason Smith would have missed last year's FSU game for his punishment?
What if?
Brady Bolin. Frick it. Vote for cricket.
There we go. You see?
Y'all are so
You
stupid.
see?
Ask Mayor Ryan, do you have a job in your office for my Uncle Jerry? He would accept Activia and butterscotch hard candy as compensation.
Yep. I'll take Uncle Jerry. He can come along for the ride.
Celebrity guest pickers after Sports Center.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. Vote for cricket.
Cricket, vote for cricket.
Man.
Making those T-shirts.
South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You're in the market for a new vehicle or might be. Go see our friends over at South Point. By the way, South Point Volkswagen has the ID4. That's the all-new, all-electric SUV for everyone, and they have them on the lot. And if you've never driven an EV and are curious, you can go test drive one. It's actually pretty awesome. Like, you don't start it. You just
get in
and drive. You're like, where's the push start? Where's the key? There isn't one.
There's not
You
one.
just get in and drive.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy. South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. For our friends in Lafayette, Lake Charles, Southwest Volkswagen in Lafayette, there to serve you. It's South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. What's your direction?
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Atlantic Coast Conference reaching the Pacific Coast. The ACC inviting Stanford, Cal, and SMU to the league. The additions will be in all sports beginning in the 2024-2025 school year. Will bring the conference to 18 members, 17 of which will play football full-time in the league. Following the mass exodus of the Pac-12, Stanford and Cal had no choice, notes ESPN's Damian Woody.
This was kind of the logical move for Stanford and Cal after they were kind of left behind by some of the other schools in the Pac-12. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's all about realignment and money. That's what college football is all about.
Damian Woody on Canty and Carlin. Major League Baseball will keep its pitch clock rules during the postseason. This regular season, the clock has been a big success, reducing the average game time by nearly 25 minutes. Mariners outfielder Julio Rodriguez, out the last 2 games with a sore foot, returns to the lineup tonight against the Mets. He will hit second in place center field. Francis Tiafoe moving on to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open after today's victory over Adrian Manarino.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right. You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again. Guess who's back? Back again.
Lisa, I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour, presented by ProCharge EV. Call 225-397-4593 or go to ProChargeEV.com.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
Let me find out that ain't your real booty meat.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Theriot. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Your football weekend is upon us. And this became customary 5 years ago where we started bringing on celebrity guest pickers. And you've had some homers.
Yep.
You've had some strikeouts.
And a couple just like filleted balls over the second baseman's head.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times.
You've drawn a few walks.
I've walked.
Yeah, that you have. But today, I think you hit an upper decker. Let's meet him.
Tony La Russa is livid with home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy. And really, it's not as much that pitch as it is this whole inning. La Russa's not been happy with a number of the balls and strikes called here in the bottom half of the seventh.
When I looked at the most successful players, they covered all the boxes. And by the way, their leadership helped our team cover all the boxes.
Tony is irate about this call, and I don't blame him.
As I was a kid, I said it, you dream. You want to play in the big leagues. You want to be part of a world champion. Never dream about the Hall of Fame. And the more you're around, the more you think Hall of Fame's for players. My manager.
I love that every clip Muse pulled up was Tony irate. He is a 3-time World Series champion, a 4-time Manager of the Year. His number 10 is retired by the St. Louis Cardinals. He is in the Athletics Hall of Fame. He's a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He is the one and only, the great Tony La Russa. Coach, it's a pleasure. How are you?
Well, I'm still getting over my feelings being hurt because I had an inside source that told me that Ryan had 11 other guys that he asked, and they all said no.
That's not true.
Was it 12 or 13?
I think the only other one he might have gone to in front of you, Tony, would have been if he could have somehow snagged Deion Sanders for Florida State week. Maybe just in this instance, but. Ryan's often talked about how much he appreciates and reveres you and has often called you the greatest manager he ever had. So it's our pleasure to have you. We do appreciate a couple of minutes here today.
Well, I have mixed emotions just because when he was with the Cubs, he did a lot to beat us. And then when he came with us, he did a lot to help us. So he's a great teammate. I'm glad we got a ring together.
Do you remember when Ryan got thrown out of the game against the Reds?
You know what I remember more than that? I remember Game 6. We were getting ready to be eliminated, and he struck out late nothing. That's what I remember.
You know the funniest part? Like, as you were starting to say that, like, he kind of gave one of these, like, really cool nods, like you were about to say a great moment. And
he struck out.
That is so good. What was it like managing Theriot in the show?
Well, I was always taught, and some of the legendary managers, I was just a terrible player that had a chance to manage quickly, and I had to go to the veterans. And they always told me, look at the other side. Don't just look at your team. Look at the other side. And you'll see guys that you respect, and someday, you say, hey, man, they really fit our club. And Ryan was one of those guys. I mean, he was always competitive. And even though he played for the hated Cubs, we walked out of there, our coaching staff, and we always said, that guy, he's a winner. And when we finally got him on our team, we were lucky to have him, and like I say, nothing better than sharing a ring.
Yeah, and I think that 2011 team that we're referencing, that you're referencing, Skip, was there was a lot of guys like that, and we talk about championships and how to win and what it takes from a culture standpoint. I think the hardest thing is getting those 25 guys in the locker room all kind of pulling the rope in that same direction, and obviously I was fortunate to be on that team, but you add pieces like Lance Berkman who comes on and at the All-Star break, the trade deadline, add a few more pieces that can come on and help the team. But all those guys are pulling that rope in the same direction. And then lastly, with that team, what I remember the most is that clubhouse policed itself. And there wasn't any cliques. There wasn't 4 or 5 guys going to dinner by themselves. Everything was done together. And then when it came down to crunch time, it wasn't a question of if, it was just when, when we were going to win that game. And that's special. That's something that doesn't come around often.
I'm glad you brought that up because too often it's the least important thing talked about. And, I think it's probably more important in baseball because you spend 6 months, not including spring training together, 162 games, then you get to the postseason. So much time together. Like football, you have 17, and then you got the maybe the playoffs. But I think in baseball, you're together so much that if you don't have that real closeness, you lose an edge. And and I will tell you that starting with the White Sox, the A's, and the Cardinals, that was our priority. We wanted to establish that family that each guy earned the respect and the trust, and we all cared for each other. And it's a difference maker. It was a difference maker in 2011.
I think, and let me ask you this too, in baseball in particular, we talk about the three major sports, basketball, baseball, and football here in the States, but because you have players coming from such different backgrounds, different countries, different cultures, would you say that's the hardest sport to kind of construct that culture and that feeling in a clubhouse?
It's a good question. The reality is you always have that kind of mix. So I do believe that the answer probably you could have 100% from one country or not. I just think that, especially in today's baseball or in today's professional sports, so much is made of how much money you make, and I got to get mine, got to get my stats, got to get my at-bats, all that stuff, that players have a tendency to think about themselves. And, if we win, that's good. But I just think that you have to overcome that right from the get-go and say, hey, if that's your attitude, you got to go somewhere else. But that's not how we build our time together. And I really believe that if that message is consistent, and you just mentioned the important part, you can have the coaches and the manager buy in, but if the players, if they don't buy in, then it's not going to happen, and they police that clubhouse.
Tony La Russa is with us. I got one more baseball question before we pick some games for this college football weekend. As I was kind of preparing to have you on, I ran across them I didn't know. Did you play for the New Orleans Pelicans back in the late 70s?
Well, it's a mistake to say I played.
Okay. But
we had great coaching staffs, and the one reason is that the owner and the front office always looked. They said, if I stand up there with my bubblegum card, there's nobody going to listen to me about anything. And so last year in uniform, I was a player coach for the Cardinals, and that year the owner, Mr. Smith, took the club from Tulsa, and they went to the Superdome to prove that baseball is there. So I was there, and we. The least we talk about it, the better moving on will be in to finish the show.
Well, it's still a. I know there's a lot of people in the city, and we're on in New Orleans as well, who remember fondly the New Orleans Pelicans. That's a really cool tie there. Tony La Russa is our celebrity guest picker, and you're our celebrity guest picker for Florida State Week because I had no idea you have a law degree from Florida State. Like, are you a Seminoles fan? Like, do you follow the football team and the athletic programs?
Well, I really believe in trust, so, you got to tell the truth. I grew up in Tampa, Florida, and our team was Florida Gators.
Okay.
But I did go to Florida State, to get my law degree, and I went there because I was a lousy player and I had to do something else for a living and never knew I was going to manage. And I really enjoyed Florida State. I pulled for them. Unfortunately, I'm not picking them this weekend.
I love it. Wait, so as a Gator fan, were you watching the Gators last night against Utah?
I watched it for a while, and then, since I don't live in Florida anymore, I'm not the diehards I was in those days. But I watched them, and it's the first game of the year. It's such a block punt kind of thing where you never know. They were better later in the game, made it a little closer. But they had a tough night.
Yeah. This just keeps getting better and better. Tony's going to pick LSU. I love it. Hit the music. Let's do it. All right, Tony, we're going to pick games, no point spread, just winners. Right. So
yes, sir.
We'll throw out the game. I'll pick, Ryan will pick, you'll pick, and then we'll tally it up. And at the end of the season, we'll have a fake prize for whoever our guest picker is that has the best of all the records. All right, let's start it out. Game tonight in the ACC in Atlanta. The Louisville Cardinals against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. That's a game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So neutral site game there in the ACC. Tony, who you got tonight? Louisville, Georgia Tech.
Louisville.
All right, Theriot?
Yeah, I'm going Louisville too. Georgia Tech stinks.
All right. Clint, it was interesting. Phil Steele was with us earlier today and likes Georgia Tech with the points. Likes Louisville to win, but thinks that might be a little bit closer game. I'm going to take Louisville as well. So clean sweep there for Louisville. Also tonight, out on the island, Stanford, who's about to be a newly minted ACC member.
Yeah.
They take on Hawaii. Tony, Stanford, Hawaii, who do you like?
That is probably the toughest choice for me, and I'm going to go with Hawaii.
All right, Hawaii.
So
yes, sir.
I watched Hawaii, and I kind of liked Hawaii.
Okay.
I did. But I think Stanford's going to win.
All right. I'm going to take first game for a new coach at post-David Shaw era. I am also going to take Stanford to win the game, but this is going to be interesting tonight for sure. Hawaii on a short rest. Remember, Hawaii had to play Vanderbilt on Saturday, so now on just 6 days rest after flying across, from the mainland back to Hawaii. So, all right, third game is.
Well, who'd you pick?
I have Stanford.
Stanford?
Yeah,
Okay.
Stanford. Third game is Virginia against Tennessee, ACC, SEC, the Cavaliers against the Vols. Tony, who do you like?
Well, if Virginia wins, it's a real upset. You got to pick Tennessee.
Yeah. I figured maybe as a Florida fan, we might get a little bit of bias pick against Tennessee there. But
I just want to pick Tennessee because that would upset Ryan and LSU, you know what I mean?
I know it would. It would make me really upset. I'm going to go with the Vols, too, although I would love for my guy, Mike Hollis, to get a couple touchies.
That'd be cool, yeah. Baton Rouge, Mike Hollis, running back there, of course, was, survived that tragic shooting at Virginia last year. Tennessee as well. So we'll go clean sweep for Tennessee with all three of us. Colorado at TCU, Coach Prime's debut. They're a big underdog there against TCU team that played for the national championship a year ago. All right, Tony, Colorado at TCU.
A fascinating game. It'd be fun to watch, prime-time coach with, like we learned over and over, it's not about the coach, about the players, so I'm taking TCU.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's they do have some really nice pieces, but from a depth standpoint, it's going to be a couple years so they can actually compete. So TCU's got this one.
I'm picking TCU in this game as well. I feel like I'm the only person in America though who thinks Deion Sanders is going to do a good job at Colorado and they're going to win more than the 3.5 games that odds make.
I agree with you. I think
he's
got this thing. Yeah, I think he gets guys ready to play. I believe he's a special talent in the coaching.
He got the Jackson State job because he was Deion Sanders, and it brought a ton of attention. He got the Colorado job because he can really coach.
That's right.
Jackson State was good. Okay, Boise State at Washington. So this one's up in Seattle. The Broncos against the Huskies. Tony, who do you like?
Washington.
Washington?
Yeah, I like Washington too. Anybody that plays when they play on the blue field.
Boise plays on the blue field. This one's up in Seattle.
Yeah, no, I get that. But if you play on a blue field, I don't see how you can actually be any good. I'm just being honest with you.
Boise State's been a really respectable program for 20 years.
They've got a blue field.
Didn't the Cubs play on a blue field?
No, they did not. They had the grass was green.
Somebody clip that, please. I'll take Washington as well. But you're going to give me Boise State and 2 touchdowns. Like if we are playing spreads, I would take Boise in the points. But winner, I like Washington. Michael Penix, too much with that offense. All right, a few more here. Interesting on the marquee. West Virginia heads up to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. Tony, who do you like? West Virginia at Penn State.
Big Ten, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Penn State.
Yeah, I think Penn State. I think Penn State's going to be really, really, really good this year. Give me Penn State.
New quarterback at Penn State for the first time in like 6 years. That's going to be interesting to watch. But I agree as well. We'll all take Penn State there. One of the more intriguing ones of the weekend: North Carolina, South Carolina. Yeah. This one's in Charlotte. Tony, who do you think? The Tar Heels or the Gamecocks?
You're right. I think it's a tough call. I'm picking NC State.
All right, he's going North Carolina.
Was it May?
Carolina.
Drake.
No, North Carolina.
Drake May.
Drake May with North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like North Carolina.
I'm gonna go against the two of you. I like South Carolina in that game. I like Spencer Rattler. I think the last 2 games of the season last year did pretty well. You had programs kind of going in the opposite direction. Drake May is very good. We also found out that they're waiting on eligibility on Tez Walker, the North Carolina receiver, who's not eligible for the game as well. So anyway, close game, but I like South Carolina. So make a little disagreement on that one.
Okay, good.
You like that? You like?
Yeah, I do like disagreements.
I think we're probably all going to agree on this one. Clemson is at Duke. Tony, who do you like? Clemson and Duke.
Clemson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
all
easy. Clemson.
Yeah.
Clemson's my pick to win the ACC. I think everyone is sleeping on Clemson. The Florida State hype train is going. I like Clemson in this game, and I think Clemson's going to be in the playoff. All right, the marquee game of the weekend, Tigers and Noles, LSU, Florida State, Sunday night from Orlando. Tony, I think you already tipped your hand, but who do you have in the LSU, Florida State game?
Believe me, I wish it could be Florida State mostly just to irritate Ryan, but I got to take LSU.
I love it. It's the first time we've had somebody on who picked LSU opposing the school that they went to.
And knowing Tony the way I did, he has. This isn't just picking the games. He's researched
wants to win.
this.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. This is.
Well,
he's got it all.
Because I know that if I win this thing, the prize I was told is I get an autographed picture of Ryan Theriot, and I would love to have that.
Yep, you do get that.
We can make that.
Hey, I'll even do an inscription on it for you. We'll make it.
We'll get the picture of you getting run in the game in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Albert picking me up.
That's what we'll do.
And Tony saving me. Yeah, I'm going to the Tigers here. I think LSU's going to win this one. A little get back from last year.
Yeah, we'll do a full breakdown at the end of the show, but I do like LSU in the game as well.
Skip, I'm thinking about running for mayor of Baton Rouge. What do you think?
Well, I think it depends on your opposition, but if there's anybody who can walk and not fall down, I'd pick the.
There we go. Okay, it's a thing. It's a thing today. It's trending right now. We're talking about my platform, my campaign slogan, everything else. I'm getting fired up about.
Yeah, the weekend of a top 10 matchup, and we got Theriot for mayor.
All I remember is Theriot, Punto, and Schumacher.
Yep.
And they terrorized the Cardinal manager to the point where they just wanted to irritate me, and they did a good job of it. So
it all worked out.
Three great teammates.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Certainly worked out. The great Tony La Russa. This was fun. Thank you so much for carving out a few minutes to spend with us here on this Friday afternoon. All the best to you.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Sir.
That is Tony La Russa. This is After Further Review. We'll continue next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel. Hey, look, next Friday, the LSU Tigers are going to be at the Renaissance, where the LSU football team will be spending Friday nights before every home game. The Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Look, if they can host the LSU football team, coaches, sports staff, all that, and all the meeting rooms that they need, because they have position rooms, they have the full team meetings, they have the full team meals and everything, you know they can host your event as well, whatever it is. I mean, if you're having a banquet and you need room for 500 people, they could do that. You need sort of an executive boardroom for a dozen people, they can do that, and everything in between. It's at the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. Call Allison Crump over at the Renaissance Hotel. They're in the business of saying yes. She'll find a way to make it happen, whatever you're looking to do at the Renaissance Hotel. And, of course, downtown, don't forget about the Watermark Hotel, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Great way to go spend a night on the town in downtown Baton Rouge. It's the Renaissance and the Watermark Hotel.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, rolling through the 5 o'clock hour. Glad you're with us here on a Friday edition of AFR. Thank you to Tony La Russa for joining us. Kicking off the celebrity guest picker segment with a bang there with Tony. So you got any thoughts for next week with Grambling?
I've got two whales that I'm hunting right now.
Okay. I like that you're motivated with this now.
I've got one I'm not going to tell you about. One you already know about.
Right.
Which I may have a connection there, maybe not. And I've got one that would be bigger than that one.
Oh, really?
That I'm working on.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. On Twitter, at @CWilliams_32 said, I cast my vote for Ryan Theriot for mayor of Baton Rouge.
Like what comes with that? Like what are my responsibilities? You might know like my responsibilities day to day if I'm the mayor. Like, can I still like do what I want? You know what I mean?
What do you mean, can you do what you want?
Like, what if I want to sleep in? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I just...
Can I sleep in? I'm sure, yeah.
You're the mayor.
You gotta do what you want, right?
But what do you do, though? Like, what does the mayor do? Go to meetings?
Sure, yeah. You're the chief executive for the city. You try to bring new business to the city.
I can do that.
Yeah, you appoint the police chief and...
What else?
I don't know.
See, I need to figure out okay, what is the job description here?
Yeah.
Like, I know what I do with T3 and TNT and, traction. Like, I got it. I got all that. Does that go away if I'm the mayor?
Probably.
Really? I can't do any of that?
I mean, I feel like it would all be a conflict.
Why?
Well, because what if you were just granting contracts to your businesses?
That's why I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, well, that's a conflict.
You can't do that. Okay, so I give all that up.
I would think that would probably be unethical. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to give all that up and then just make Baton Rouge great again?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Make Baton Rouge great again. Yeah.
Bring back the Broadmoor Theater?
That would be great.
Leo's skating rink?
Sure.
Ponchos? That's new business.
Ponchos.
Could I bring ponchos back and Newlies?
Newlies is back.
Newlies is back.
Yeah.
I want ponchos.
Raise the flag.
Would that be considered bringing commerce, bringing business in?
Sure. I don't think that's exactly what we're thinking. I think it's more, hey, things that are big economic drivers for the city, not necessarily, $3 buffets at a Mexican place.
Raise the flag, bro.
I'm with you.
As many sopapillas as you can
I ate a lot
eat.
of meals at Poncho.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of sopapillas.
So I hire the
right over
police.
there by Circle Bowl.
I appoint the police chief. I could do that. I could find somebody good for that.
Yeah.
Starting to like this. How much does the mayor get paid?
I don't know. You could get all the city vehicles souped up at Alpha Customs.
Oh, they could all be lifted from Alpha Customs.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. That's what we'll do. We could tint all the windows at Alpha Customs, all the city vehicles.
It feels like aren't all the police units windows tinted anyway?
We'll take the city buses and we'll bring them all to Alpha. We'll lift them a bit, throw some new wheels and tires on them from Alpha.
Like a great idea.
Maybe we could upgrade the audio system in there. What else could you do at Alpha? I mean, I guess we could do it all there.
Do it all.
Could we have jacked up city trucks, like not cars anymore, all done at Alpha?
I mean, you're the mayor. You can do what you want. Right, but you're going to be accountable for what you spend and how you balance the budget for the city and everything like that.
Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. You're accountable to all that.
But Tilly does that for me now, so I'd have to appoint him as, what could he be? He'd have to be like the finance guy.
Chief administrative officer, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just needs to balance the checkbook. Is that a thing? Do people do that still?
Checkbooks?
Balance the checkbook?
I'm sure like my mom probably does. I got a checkbook.
Some lady tried to write a check when I was in Rouse's the other day, and like the cashier had no idea what was going on. Like she was like, "Wait, what is this? What are you doing?"
It's a check.
No clue.
A little bit of disappointing news for LSU on the recruiting front. Dominic McKinley, the number 1 player in Louisiana, defensive tackle out of Acadiana, he committed to Texas A&M earlier this afternoon. So it's a bit of a bummer. You know, he's a Dominic McKinley is one of the top players in the country, and you know one of the the top player in Louisiana for this year. And he's a defensive lineman. And if you're looking at a year where Mason Smith is likely off to the NFL after the season, Jacoby and Guillory certainly could leave after his 4th year in college. Some of the transfers you brought in are veteran players that could leave and go to the NFL should they choose to. Mekhi Wingo could certainly go pro. You'd love to bolster that defensive lineman, but Dominic McKinley, a 5-star nationally, the number 31 player. He's the number 7 defensive lineman in the country, the best player in Louisiana, according to 247 and in the composite. So, bit of a bummer there, man. Yeah, LSU has missed out on Dominic McKinley, best player in the state for the class of 2023.
Yeah, that stinks. You got to get that guy.
You know, I know there's this isn't going to be a new take for anybody that's ever listened to me talk about recruiting. Like, I'm not the recruiting guy. I'm not. Like Shay and Billy and they do awesome work on all that. Like they're the ones following this stuff day to day. I'm not that guy. I've always said, look, I mean, recruiting is the lifeblood of your program. It is. You've got to recruit. You got to have great players to be able to win. There's no debating that. You look at the blue chip ratio we talk about every year. It's not a coincidence that the teams at the top of the blue chip ratio are the ones that are competing for championships every year. The teams at the top of the recruiting rankings are the ones competing for championships every year. But I don't mean to be but like all you can do is make your best pitch. You know what I mean? Like you can't force someone to you can't draft a player,
right?
Or go in free agency and make them the highest paid this position. You know what I mean? Like all you can do is go sell them what you have to sell them. And I'm sure LSU did everything they could do to try to get Dominic McKinley, right? I mean, your recruiters are on him all the time. You send him letters. You're at his games. You visit. Like you call. You do whatever. You show the NIL opportunities. You do whatever you can. But like, what else? Like what else can you do other than what you can do? Like some guys just want to leave home. Like just like college. I mean, some people just want to leave home for college. Some people are seeking a different opportunity. Some people, who knows? Like all you can, I mean, I'm looking right now at 247, and this is the rankings of the top players in Louisiana for the class of 2024. So the best player in Louisiana is Dominic McKinley, and he picked A&M. Number 2 is Deshaun McBride. He's an LSU commit. Number 3 is Kylan Biot. He's an LSU commit. Number 4 is Tradez Green, LSU commit. 5 is Tylen Singleton, LSU commit. 6 is Juwan Johnson, LSU commit. You see what I mean? Now, Wardell Mack is number 7. He picked Florida. Number 8 is Kalaj Cobbins, LSU commit. 9 is Michael Turner, LSU commit. 10 is Joel Rogers, LSU commit. So 8 of the top 10 highest-ranked players in the state this year committed to LSU. Anthony Robinson, number 11, is going to Ole Miss, and Kyrie Lee, number 12, is going to LSU. So 9 of the top 12. You got 9 of the top 12 in the state. Like,
yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, the thing that I'm not just trying to sit here and make you feel better about losing a player to A&M. It sucks because he's going to A&M and you can play him every year. You know, that you wish it was like when Joe McKnight went to USC. That sucked, but you never saw him again. But I just, it's like, do you trust the coaching staff to build a roster? Do you trust them to go identify, recruit, and develop 25-plus players every year that they sign, and then hit the transfer portal where needed. Like to build a roster that's capable of winning a championship. Like, do you trust his coaching staff to do that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. So, yeah, I would have loved if they had gotten Dominic McKinley. I think it's a position of need. It's the best defensive lineman in the state, one of the best defensive linemen in the country. Yes, it's a total bummer. It sucks. But it's just hard. You know what I mean? Like, who do you blame for that? Like the kid made a decision. Mm-hmm. Who do you know what I mean? Like, if you give up 50 points to Florida State this weekend, I know who to blame, right? You got way more talent than should be giving up 50 points in a game. You know what I mean? Like, you know where to point the finger to. That's the problem. But, man, like, you got 8 of the top 10 kids in the state committed.
Yeah.
2 got away. Okay. Sucks, but go get a great defensive lineman from another state.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't want him anyway.
No, we wanted him.
Oh never mind. Yeah, we want him.
Yeah, no, we wanted him badly.
Never mind. Flip, come back.
For sure.
Come back.
And look, man, I mean, the other thing I'll tell you, too, is it's September 1.
Yeah, he hadn't signed yet.
It's till November.
Yeah, we got
Plug
time.
away.
Yeah, we can still get him. Let's go. Come on, step up, NIL. Who we got? Who got some money? Let's pay the man.
That may not be it.
Call Tony back. See if we can get some of that.
He's got
money.
some cheese?
He got a little cash.
Tony's got some cash, doesn't
he? He did all right.
Good for him. I mean, the second highest ranked commit in LSU's class is Kai Bates. He's a cornerback out of Orlando. Do you think, like, Florida fans are pissed that this kid's getting out of Florida and going to LSU?
Yeah, we dip into Florida and Texas every year.
I mean, it's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. And I think traditionally LSU does Louisiana does a really good job of keeping their guys in state, too. I mean, we've been crushing Texas for a while.
All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to our LSU Florida State preview and prediction. Final preview and prediction, then we'll wrap up the show with Ask Ryan. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. I want you to, especially if you're a business owner or you own some type of commercial building or property, I want you to go to ProChargeEV.com. Like, I know I'm repeating this almost daily now, but every day it seems as though business owners or commercial property owners are going to the website and they're submitting forms for information, because I think this message resonates. It doesn't matter if you drive an EV. It doesn't matter if you like EVs or what your thoughts are. I have a family member who is on a waiting list to get an SUV, an electric vehicle SUV, and it was going to take 6 months to get because they literally can't make them as fast as there is demand right now. People are driving electric vehicles, and they have to have places to charge it. So if you have a public commercial building, you need to have EV chargers as an amenity for customers or employees or tenants, or as a revenue generator for your business. Learn more at ProChargeEV.com. Just get more info. ProChargeEV.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Cold in Baton Rouge. I'm ready what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so.
What I'm doing, getting money. What we doing, getting what they doing, hating on us, but they never cross. Cash money still a company, and we's at the boss.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rolling through the 5 o'clock hour. Hey, remember, y'all, download that DraftKings Sportsbook app if you haven't done it yet. College football rolls on tonight. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Make a $5 bet on college football. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. How about the Otter last night?
What did he do?
He gave us Central Florida minus 35.5. Said lay the 35 and a hook with Central Florida. It hit 56-6, rocking chair cover. You know what else the Otter gave us last night?
What did he give you?
The Otter gave us Utah. Said lay that 5.5 with the Utes. Hit. He gave us one more. Said it was his best bet of the night. You know what it was? It was under 43 in Nebraska, Minnesota. How about a 3-0 night for you, boy?
How you doing?
The Otter. You know what? If you had downloaded the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you had used the code Baton Rouge, you had made a $5 college football bet, they'd have given you $200 in bonus bets instantly. Could have made them on those plays last night with the Otter. You'd be rolling in cash right now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, the man.
What are you waiting on? DraftKings, official sports betting partner of AFR. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code Baton Rouge now. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, we'll wrap up the show with Ask Ryan. So get your questions in for Ask Ryan. A lot of people still asking about you running for mayor and all that foolishness. If you weren't here in the last hour. Terrio's inquiring about running for mayor. But let's get into our predictions here for LSU and Florida State. You want to go first? Take on the game?
Yeah, I can go first. I think last year, let me talk about last year first. Sure. I think last year's special teams were absolutely horrendous. Okay, all the way around. I think that's going to get fixed. I think you've got guys returning kicks now that can actually catch the ball. At least I hope so. And the good news is you have actual playmakers. Like one thing I hated about last year was every time a punt went up, it was an automatic fair catch. There's no way we're advancing that ball. Like nothing's going to happen. Just catch it. Just don't fumble the ball. You know, so I think special teams is going to be much, much improved on the LSU side. You know, you touched on it earlier with Jaden Daniels and the experience level and how dynamic the offense is. You know, the only real concern I have, and everybody said this, so this isn't like anything new, but is the secondary and can they hold up? I mean, Florida State has some real guys running routes. Harold Perkins, though, can get after the quarterback, get him off his spot. You know, it makes his job a lot harder and helps the secondary. So I'm going to go Tigers. I think Tigers win this game. I think it's going to be 35-24 LSU. And I think we win this one. Yep.
All right. My score is close to yours. And it's interesting because every Florida State show I went on this week, like all Florida State media, they're all picking Florida State. And basically everybody who covers LSU is picking LSU. Now, Hunt picked Florida State earlier today, I heard. But you did it just now, and I've heard everybody do it all week and really all summer. I've heard the phrase last year, last year. And that's the thing that I think is crippling a lot of people when they're trying to break down this game. Because LSU last year in this game is not even remotely close to the team that they are now. LSU in this game last year isn't even remotely close to the team they were by the time they got to November. So I have a hard time looking at what happened in that game a year ago and drawing anything from it to this year, because it's a dramatically different LSU team. What I look at the start of the season is what I always say whenever I'm making a season prediction: who has the fewest questions against the most manageable schedule. So I look at LSU. There's no question at quarterback. There's no question at offensive line. There's no question at receiver. There's no question at tight end. There's no question at running back. You could say, well, who's going to get the line share of the carries? Okay, well, that's a good problem to have. It's not you're looking for a running back. It's you've got 8 dudes that can all do it, and in this game, you'll have 6 available to you. There is no question about rotation on your defensive front. You have veteran, experienced guys there. Your linebackers are dramatically better than you were a year ago with Omar Spates and Harold Perkins in the middle. I think you were very good at safety with Greg Brooks and with Major Burns. You bring in Andre Sam. Sage Ryan has played nickel for you. He's moved around an awful lot. Yes, there was a question at corner, but my goodness, you just said that Florida State has real dudes at receiver. I would submit to you that the top 2 guys, Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman at Florida State, neither one of those would be a top 2 receiver at LSU. And when I go to the scrimmage in Tiger Stadium 2 weeks ago, and the first series that the first offense has, it's a 3rd and 6, and they're trying to throw an out route to Malik Neighbors. And Zy Alexander closes on him, gets there right as the ball's getting there, and has a PBU. I'm going, that's Malik Neighbors. Like, that ain't some scrub. That's a first-round draft pick receiver that he just D'd up. So, look, man, I like LSU specialists. Damian Ramos had an underrated year kicking the football last year. We remembered the block PAT, which wasn't his fault. It was Mason Taylor who
Mason Taylor!
who missed the block off the edge against Florida State. But Damian Ramos was good. Jay Bramblett was good. Now, the coverage units weren't good, so his net punting average wasn't great because of the lack of ability to cover. Adding Aaron Anderson gives you a dynamic return man. The reason I like this LSU team so much is I don't have questions for them. I mean, sure, I would love it if they were more settled at corner. But I also look and I go, well, Zy Alexander was an FCS All-American and Deuce Chestnut was an All-Conference player at Syracuse last year. Yeah, I mean, I wish J.K. Johnson was healthy and Denver Harris was playing better. Of course, that would make me much more at ease. On the flip side, a lot of people like Alabama to win the national championship. They don't even know who their stinking quarterback's going to be. So, yeah, I like LSU. I think LSU's offense is going to score on everybody they play this year. I love this offense. I think we live in an age where teams are going to score, but LSU's defense has enough playmakers. They're going to make enough plays. And I think LSU's going to win this game. I like them to win. I like them to cover. I think LSU wins 34-27. So I think LSU wins the game, gets the season off to a good start. They'll beat Grambling next week. Then they'll go to Starkville for a sleepy 11 a.m. game in 2 weeks, and you hope you're not napping in that one. But, yeah, give me LSU 34-27 to win on Sunday night there in Orlando. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. Go for that consultation. Remember, they also have eye care. So when you get your annual eye exam, you can get it done at the Williamson Eye Center. They got 7 different locations, the newest in Lutcher, there in the River Parishes, but all over the greater Baton Rouge area. And, of course, if you ever thought about LASIK, if you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, there's a way to do it. The Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to WilliamsonEye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Got one thing left to do before we get on out of here. Got to do a little Ask Ryan. Got questions for Theriot. Fire away. You can ask Theriot anything about anything. You can email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X World.
Thank you, George, truly. Or you can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We'll wrap it up next with Ask Ryan.
AFR.
Oh, it's the first football Friday night Lights. There's probably a lot of people getting out to games tonight, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm about to go.
It's a 7 o'clock kick for a lot of games, yeah.
Yep.
And then games end, and then people usually are trying to eat some food, aren't they? Like game
Starving.
ends around like 9:30, but you need to go get some food. Just go by Pluckers.
That's where you should go.
Pluckers is open till midnight or later every night of the week. So before you hit the stadium on a Friday night, get by Pluckers. Get you some wings. Or after the game lets out, get on over to Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Remember, they open at 11 a.m. So when the ball's teed up and kicked off tomorrow at 11 a.m., you can spend your entire football Saturday at Pluckers. And, yes, LSU, Sunday. So they're open to midnight or later, so get on by. Watch at 6:30 kickoff Central Time. For LSU and Florida State, you need a place to watch. How about go watch it on the 8-foot by 13-foot screen at the Bluebonnet location of Pluckers?
Wow.
Dine in, carry out, or delivery. It's Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be live for Whiskey and Wine as soon as the game goes final Sunday night. when the clock hits 0 for LSU and Florida State, T-Bob and I will be live at Don Juan Cigar Bar for Whiskey and Wine. So come join us right there in Town Center near the Whole Foods. We'd love to have you come hang out with us. T-Bob goes and watches the whole game there, so if you want to see that unfold, you can. But we'll be live for Whiskey and Wine. Looking forward to it. All right, here we go. Eric says, ask Mayor Theriot.
Yep.
What's the biggest issue that you'd solve if elected mayor of Baton Rouge?
Oh, man, the biggest issue, I would probably say, you got the final sale up to 80% off at Haspel right now, Haspel.com. I would talk to the people at Haspel if I were mayor and see if we could get that 80% on everything, at least for a week.
That'd be great, yeah. Craig Duga asked Ryan, is Hanny still pushing Napier?
I don't know if Hanny's pushing Napier or not, but I do know this. Haspel's got some game day gear that you could wear. Purple and gold. We got it all. Louisiana game day set up at Haspel, Haspel.com. Nobody else has this stuff. It's really neat, unique. Got the belts, got the socks, got the shirts. Haspel.com. Check them out.
Randall Offrecht asked Ryan,
Yep.
Would you fix the roads if you were mayor?
Yeah, I'd fix the roads, and the first road I would start with would be Segan Lane, because that's how you can get over to the Haspel warehouse.
Got it.
If you're over there, and you just need that. Or you can just go online at Haspel.com. Type in Riot 10, by the way, when you order your stuff from Haspel. Get you 10% off on your order, Riot 10.
Benji Toops asked Ryan, what section are you sitting in? We're in section 301. I guess that's for Garth tomorrow.
I think we're down on the floor, Benji.
Of course you are.
Just do this. Look for the seersucker.
No, wait, you can't wear that anymore. Because, because Monday is Labor Day.
Monday's Labor Day.
Yeah.
You got one more day with the seersucker, but
so you can't wear seersucker after Labor Day.
That's the light color. See, Haspel's got the fall colors coming, the holiday colors coming. You got the dark. You got
so you can wear seersucker after Labor Day?
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You got a navy seersucker suit jacket. Got a smoke gray that's sick. Full suit. Yeah, they got all that.
All right. It's been a really good show, man. Appreciate everybody for being here. Miss anything AFR on demand, you can check it out. AFR, LSU, AFR Saints YouTube channels, or on your favorite podcast app. Just search After Further Review. Subscribe up. You can catch everything you missed there. Brennan Thibodeau asked Ryan, what do you think about Stetson Bennett making the 53-man roster for Week 1?
Man, I saw that. I think he had one really good game and then a couple really, really bad ones. I like Stetson Bennett. He doesn't bother me.
I missed a bunch. That's a Musso weed joke. We haven't had a Musso weed joke in a while.
I like those.
In a minute.
He took the snacks over there and just started munching.
Oh, that's true.
He took the whole plate,
and
bro.
it was right at about. Was right about 4:22.
Yeah.
He knew what was coming.
Oh boy, Muse.
All right, Muse, Paulie, thanks. Have a great weekend, y'all. We'll see you Monday for AFR.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, let me remind you about Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. You want to take this one?
No, Mold Zero. Mold0.com. You have to do the phone number because I don't ever remember that stuff.
Mold-0usa.com. Just tell people about Mold Zero.
So you have the, totally safe, by the way. If you have mold or maybe you notice a smell or whatever it may be, traditionally you go and you cut everything out. It costs you a ton of money. Mold Zero, mold0usa.com. There's a patented dry fog, comes in, limits the tear out. And my guy Jim Woodworth does a great job educating the homeowners or business owners. If you have it, give them a shout. Mold0.com.
No. Mold-0usa.com.
Oh.
Mold-0usa.com. I try to get him to change it, but it's complicated.
That's complicated.
Mold. Say it with me. Mold-0usa.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is.